following broadcast is intended for mature audiences. These are real people sharing very real, deeply personal experiences. This content may be considered triggering for others and for those who are sharing. The chat room is a privilege intended for discussions and sharing. You are not being asked to agree, but you are being asked to stay civil and refrain from personal attacks. Listener discretion is advised.
I'm here. Sorry I'm not sounding super cheerful like I usually do. I have COVID. Neither of the co-hosts showed up. Chatting with one of them, but they feel like shit. I did have a guest lined up, but they're traveling right now, so they might be late if they even show up at all. We have 10 slots per season, and at this point I can barely even find 3 guests at any point in time. I don't know that I have it in me to keep going like this. I put everything I have, including time with my kids and my wife, into this podcast. This is just a huge kick in the nuts. I feel so defeated right now. I didn't want to cry, but I put everything into this podcast. I scheduled my whole life around this podcast. Because that's what it means to me. That's what mental health means to me. And I was all proud today. I got new headphones on Tuesday after my dog had eaten my old ones. I put together what I thought was the greatest intro song I've ever written. One of the best songs I've ever written. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous song. And, yeah. And thank you, Kat, for showing up. I mean, we have some incredible guests. The guests that we do have lined up were great. We have someone coming from Australia that's going to be on. I'm working with someone right now that has been doing the medicine side of things. Except that the problem is that they work through the podcast. The one day of the week that they work past 5 happens to be Thursday. So I guess this episode is just going to be me opening up a little bit about the constant struggles with this podcast. And I have people all over telling me how important this podcast is, how much it means to them. My own sister told me that she has friends all the time asking her if she listens because they love it. I need help with this podcast. It'd be great if I could find someone that could just help book. And that's it. I'll still do the pre-shows. I'll still do all the other work. Just with one kid in gymnastics, the other kid in t-ball, a wife that's on call 1 to 2 days a week. it makes it really, really difficult for me to find time to do every aspect of it. I reached out to Austin. I know that he listens. I tried to get him on as a guest. He said he wanted to. No, if you guys listening actually remember the episode where we were chatting with him about his experience, he'd make a fantastic guest. I haven't heard back. I just don't know. Let me pull up the calendar here. I mean, I've been trying really hard to shelter you, the listeners, from hearing how difficult it's been lately. I have no guest next week. I have the Australian guest week after. Then I have someone from TikTok who has shared her story with nearly 1 million people that follow her on TikTok about her struggles in dealing with mental health. I can't wait for these episodes. I really can't. And then, no episode. And then we have a guest coming back. And no episode. Yeah, see, I mean, we just don't have a lot of guests. We have, like, literally 10 slots. So out of 10, we have 1, 2, 3 filled. I mean, 7 empty slots. Hey, Richard. And I'm sorry if I'm just a little bit fragile right now. I've been isolated away from everybody for over a week at this point. The only company I have right now are my dogs. No, I'm not saying that that's not good company. But I miss my kids. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I love having Bexy on as a co-host. And she knows it, and I know it, that her time as a co-host is limited. Hashimoto's is taking that time away from her. And there may be a day where she can't do it anymore. And I've never seen anyone push through as much pain to try to help. As speak of the devil. I was just talking about you. Yeah, because I don't know, did you see the title of the episode? How you feeling? I know all 3 of us have been struggling lately. I have a co-host now. And I know Sam feel... Oh, shit, I just named... Okay, well, there's that counter. And you know what? I actually went the entire season 8 without a name drop. Took me all of, 15 minutes. I know that C feels like absolute dog shit right now, too. You fell asleep. Yeah, and me being isolated in the office for over a week now. And I was talking about how much I admire your strength to be able to push through with all the pain that Hashimoto's brings to be on as many episodes as you can. But that we both also understand that your time doing this is probably limited due to Hashimoto's. It will eventually take even this away, being a co-host. At least you still have the ability to write and to type. So you may not be able to speak, but you're not without a voice. Oh. Meanwhile, Kat says, "Hey, Bexy." And damn it, was running water and missed the name drop. And Richard asked, "By chance, did you all hear about the armed robbery in Stockton that started with a decoy selling candy, and then four guys drove up with guns and robbed the place, all caught on a door cam?" I mean, that's just an hour south of me. I did not hear about that. But then again, I've also been isolated. But I was gushing about how much I sacrificed for this podcast. And that I feel that it is failing. We have only 3 guests lined up. I have a last minute one that's trying to make it right now as we speak. I don't say that we failed. I feel that we are failing. Yeah, mine's just like you. I said, "Oh God, you've been talking, and I had you muted this whole time."
What?
I'm sorry, I had you muted this whole time. I just realized.
Oh, shit. Well, isn't that great? wanted to hear me anyway, did they? That was a tactic. You're over there, by yourself, and you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna be by myself. Let me mute the co-host.
And make it seem like I'm just talking to myself.
Yeah, really. Oh, wow. So, hi, everyone.
Yeah, Bexy was talking about how there are mornings that she wakes up, she can't even speak. Because Hashimoto's is already starting to take her voice.
Yeah.
And that she has has hives now as a side effect of Hashimoto's.
Lovely, lovely things. But like I was saying, right now, I don't know why, but I've noticed it, and it happens every year around this time. This is about the time in the year where my mental health is almost at its worst.
Same. Even with longer days, it's just they're not long enough yet.
Yeah. I realized that I have been,
Bonnie! I'm sorry. We got a new guest in the chat. So it's someone that I met. Believe it or not, I'm on Twitter again.
Yeah, I know.
But I am on basically on there to troll. That's kind of the point. But also to try to meet good people. And I met Bonnie. Bonnie is a, how do I put it? Kind of a leftist socialist. Which, that's not necessarily who I get along the best with. But we've totally hit it off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I shared some of my music with Bonnie, too, today.
Awesome.
Bonnie just said, love Twitter, love to troll.
I saw that. Hi, Bonnie.
Yeah, you're going to have to follow Bexy. Bexy is just a ray of sunshine. I actually met Bexy through Twitter, so.
Yeah, I'm afraid I wasn't so sunshiny today, and I went on a little mini Twitter rant, because you know me, and you know that I am a fairly friendly person, and when people are friendly toward me, and they're, like if someone, I have my DMs open on Twitter for a reason. Because if somebody has an issue with mental health or anything, and they feel like they need to reach out to me, I want them to be able to do so.
I mean,
and I've
only
never
had someone do that for you.
Exactly. And I've never closed my DMs. But the other day, someone asked if we could speak. And I was like, sure. And then they proceeded to be nothing but emotionally manipulative and trying to be anyway. And I wasn't having it. I'm like, no, this is not how this goes. You say you want to be a friend. Yeah, that's fine. No, I'm not sending you the things you're asking for.
I'm not sending you pictures of my tatas.
And then,
if I know Twitter.
And then, yes, basically. And then they have the nerve, because I didn't write to them yesterday, and they text, they DM'd me on Twitter, and they're like, oh, you can make posts and you can comment on other people's posts, but you can't say hi to me. I wasn't on all day yesterday, but wow, I was really disappointed. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just a big disappointment, ain't I? Block.
Boom.
Yeah.
You're not there to serve them.
No, I am not. And I am more than willing for anybody to reach out to me if they have an issue, if they have a problem, if they just want to say hi, if they want to hear, a stupid joke, if they, anything like that, if they need a hug or whatever.
Pictures of penguins.
I'm there for all of that. Yes, I will send you pictures of penguins. I will send you pictures of my dogs. You know, I'm reaching a point though where I started to realize that, you know, I'm more than happy to help, but don't come at me that way. Don't come at me with the attitude of like I owe you my time. Because I absolutely do not owe anyone any time unless I want to give it. And you know what? That sounds really, really harsh, but I once gave up all my time for everybody around me. And you know that.
Yes.
So for me to be able to get to a point where I say, no, I don't have to give you my time is a big thing for me. And I've never reached that point with anybody. It's been very few and far between, but I already was having a bad day. Today was one of those days where I don't know what happened. I woke up this morning. Physically, I felt fine. And then I woke up, I took a shower. I am sitting on the bed after my shower, and I cried. Out of nowhere, I started crying. And I have cried all day today, and I don't know why. I have no physical reason to be crying. I am not in pain. I mean, today is actually a fairly decent day for my, autoimmune shit and everything. I haven't been in pain. I don't feel like I'm depressed, but I feel off. Like something somewhere within me isn't right now. And I'm not sure what it is.
No, I get that.
I'm tired of feeling off right now. And I've already had to have another antidepressant added to my meds to help me with my sleep. And I'm starting to think that maybe I'm just broken again.
You go through a lot. I mean, I wouldn't wish Hashimoto's on my worst enemy.
I don't.
And it's
either.
like every time that it's like things seem to make sense, all of a sudden something seems to change, and it's all messed up again.
Yeah. It's getting to be very hard. And I was just talking to a nightmare about this earlier. I dread the day when I'm useless. When somebody has to take care of me. Because I don't know who would do it.
I wish I could be there for you. Seriously. I'd wipe your butt for you.
Sorry.
It's okay. We're both having a day.
Yeah. I'm sorry you've got to look at my snotty face.
There's worse.
No. Let's sit up in the light now you can really see. Sorry. I don't, I don't normally have these days where I'm free to, just like express myself and stuff like that. Today is just one of those days where everything that's inside of me is pouring out. I still have a habit of putting on a smile, and I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. I can do it. I'm fine.
It's okay to not be okay.
I know it's okay to not be okay. I preach that to everybody because I truly believe it. I just have never been I've never stopped and thought that it's okay for me to not be okay, but it's okay for everybody else.
Oh, no.
It is definitely okay for everybody else.
It's definitely okay for you.
I know. I need to be. It's well, like I told somebody earlier today, it's a bad day. It's not a bad life. Not really. I have, so much to be grateful and thankful for. I have so many wonderful people in my life. I get the whole feeling like failing thing because I feel like I'm failing the people around me. And it's hard. It's really hard. Yeah. It's in here I come usually with my ray of sunshine self, and I'm all, wow, look at me, I'm sad.
Yeah, meanwhile, out there in the intro, so it'd be like, welcome back. I'm just like, I'm here.
Oh. We have each other. We have people around us who love us. I know we both know this. And I have to just keep telling myself, it's okay. Even the sunshine has to hide when there's rain.
Yep. There's no shame in it.
Well, you can tell I've done a lovely job of making myself swell today because I've been crying.
Well, it happens.
But yeah, I'm so sorry about not being here for the start of the show. I really am, because I had every intention of being on time and not being a crying mess.
And I have a little surprise for you here in just a second, I think.
What's that?
You'll see.
Oh.
You're just going to have to trust me.
Oh. The most ominous words ever spoken to me by my non-biological brother.
I think you have to trust me?
Yes. Oh. That's the thing. There are a lot of humans on this planet, and you are one that I trust implicitly, no matter how much I might joke about it.
Aww. You shouldn't.
I know. I'm a fool, but
When I get that gleam in my eye, you should be worried.
I know.
Although sometimes it's for good reasons.
Yes, sometimes. Sometimes. I really am glad you're back on Twitter, though. You proved to be very entertaining for me.
Aww.
And then, of course, I make some weird post, and you have to comment on it like, I'm a sock!
Hi.
Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
Hi!
Hi. I'm trying not to look old, but I'm 50, so it's just like
I'm
not.
45.
I'm
Are
42.
you? I am 50, and 50 is different than your 40s. I can tell you that honestly because I've been through the 40s and now I'm to the 50s.
I believe you.
Yeah. And 50 is great, which is why my Twitter handle is because I am 50.
Which I love that you as your Twitter handle.
Yeah. Well, I woke up on my 50th birthday, which was just a month ago, February 11th, and I was like,
Mine was on the 3rd.
Is it
Yeah.
the 3rd of February?
Yep.
You're
And
my Aquarius brother too?
yeah, and my wife is born on the 9th of February.
Oh, wow. So we could all get together and have a birthday party together next year.
A huge birthday bash.
And did you just drink a Diet Coke? Because I love Diet Coke.
Yes.
I'm
addicted.
I try to not to do it, but it's a guilty pleasure. Bexy, I don't see your face. Oh wait, I got it. Okay, I got it. All three of us are on here now. I wanted to tell you, Bexy, how sorry I am that you're having a hard day.
Oh, I'll be completely okay.
Oh,
I know.
And by the way,
I know you will.
And
I know
Bexy,
you will. But
just
I
so
just
you
wanted
know,
to...
just so you know why I'm able to trust Bonnie as fast as I was. We all three share a very close personal friend. Someone that has helped you a lot too, Bexy.
Is it who I'm thinking it is?
Yes.
I'm not thinking of anyone. I have no idea. I seriously have no idea.
Basically, when we were on Twitter together 3 years ago, I was the Dean to her Sam.
Would her Twitter handle be Dominique?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
I love Dominique.
That lady is my soul sister.
Oh.
And in her and E, they pulled me out of the fire. I don't know where I'd be without her and without him.
Aw. I just think it's okay to not be fine.
It is.
E, is that what you're going by? E?
Yes. Let me.
Yes.
I was meant to rename this.
Yeah.
Am I mental? Yes, you are. You are for sure mental.
No doubt about it.
So am I. And that's why we get along so well.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. So E. Okay, E. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
Happens to me too. I always find myself in the hereafter. I walk into a room, I'm like, what did I come in here for after?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, 45, that's when that starts, right?
Oh, I've been doing it since I was 12.
Yeah. I'm sorry you're not feeling well, Bexy. I don't know anything about Hashimoto's, but I imagine it sucks a lot.
It can, yes.
Yeah.
It's basically her body hates herself.
Yeah.
If she even stubs her toe on furniture, her whole body can have a flare up.
Oh.
Yeah, my body.
Is it an immune system response? Is that what it is?
Yes, it's immune disease.
Mm.
So basically, my body attacks the thyroid hormone that it produces naturally and causes it to be in a constant state of, hey, let's kill this with fire. So any other kind of immune response that happens, it just doubles down on that, and it can get really bad.
Yeah.
But
And is your podcast about mental health and chronic health issues combined?
Anything that can. So the way that the little tagline that we've come up with, it took me a while to finally be able to condense it down, is it's a weekly podcast where people share real stories about how mental health impacts life and how life impacts mental health.
Yeah. Yeah. And is it okay if I talk about the music, Eve,
by
that
all
you gave me
means.
today?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
So,
I was hoping when you came on, I was like, it impacted you.
yes, incredibly. So I was having a hard day. I do a certain job that is stressful. And this time of year, my clients can get really insane.
You're a tax
And-
consultant.
I am, yes. And
Nailed it.
yes.
You know how I
And
know?
it is-
I know tax
Wait,
consultants.
Yes. You know the struggle, Eve, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
I have
so-
friends that do that for a living, and I know their struggle.
Well, and it's the weirdest thing because people freak out at this time of the year every tax season. And what they do is they I'm so hesitant to talk about clients on a podcast because any of them could hear it. But,
Right. I mean, just try to stay, if you stick generalizations about things that you've seen
okay.
and not go into anything that could identify, you should be fine. Because that's what we try to do.
Okay.
So try to not do identifiable information.
I didn't know if people could see me on screen.
Nope.
Nope. Okay,
It's pure
great.
audio.
Only you two?
Yep.
Only you two. Okay, great.
If C
My
was on,
voice-
you'd have the third.
My voice might be distinguishable, though, because I don't know if you could tell, but I have a kind of distinguishable voice.
I
But
did
let's
notice.
let's talk about what happened today, because it was amazing for my mental health. It helped so much. So I've had a rough couple days because my clients are going insane. And when tax clients go insane, what they do is they start blaming and being angry at their tax person.
Yep. Because somehow
And-
it's your fault.
Right. And so at the beginning of March every year, I have to spend time in my busiest month of the year managing other people's emotional and mental health around taxes and set boundaries to prevent them from blaming me, dumping on me. I don't know. I've had to set a lot of boundaries, but today I think so for this tax season, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe up to 10 clients have sent us emails that are blaming or aggressive or hostile. And 3 of those 10 are clients that we stopped working with this year. Like, we didn't want to work with them again, so they moved on to somebody else. And now they're emailing us about stuff from like 2020. And it's March of 2022. Like, we're very focused on getting 2021 done. But that doesn't stop ex-clients from emailing and wanting to get our attention about whatever random issue that they think is a crisis right now that isn't. There's no tax emergencies, is I guess what we try to live by.
Right. I mean, I've known some people who have been deep in the hole with the IRS.
Yeah.
Sometimes even legitimately through no fault of their own because, spouse. But
Right.
still, the
Yeah.
IRS isn't going to throw you in jail if you're willing to work with them. And they're willing to work with you.
And we're not even talking about tax resolution here, E. That's what you're talking about is like auditing, collection, stuff like that. We're talking about just preparing their 2021 tax return. Just a tax return. Just a tax return.
Right.
Nothing major, just the process of preparing the tax return sends some people so over the edge that we have to fire them. And that is the reality. And wow.
I know.
Yeah.
So I used to have a psychiatrist
Uh-huh.
who once a year had to prescribe a single dose of Adderall.
Yeah.
So the guy could actually concentrate on doing his taxes. He'd take it just that one day, do his taxes, be done with it.
Oh wow! For this is just for one guy. I was like,
Yeah.
I'd have to take Adderall for like 2 months. That's part of the reason why I don't do any stimulant drug because like I would get addicted so fast because I'm a workaholic already, which is again what I was going to talk to Bexy about, was that I if I can't work and be productive, I feel worthless. And I've had some chronic health issues the last couple of years too. Probably nothing as bad or as serious as Hashimoto's, but it's affected my productivity.
Okay, so really fast, just got to throw in a little thing that we always tend to say on the show. It doesn't matter if your issues are worse or lesser than someone else's. They're your issues and they impact you. They are valid.
Yes.
You have every right to feel impacted by them.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what I tell everybody who like tries to tell me that their problems don't matter because that's first world problems or whatever. And I'm always like, your problems matter. So like Bexy talking about how, you know, she's always telling people to, you know, that it's okay not to be fine, but you don't feel like it's okay for you not to be fine. Like it's okay for everybody else, but it's not okay for me to be fine. And I've struggled with that so much. I'm like, if I'm too sick to work, then I don't even deserve to breathe the air that I'm breathing right now. And that's just simply not true.
Yep.
Every human being has amazing value. And so do you. I mean, you're E's co-host. He must really love you. And he's a great guy. And I only just met him on Twitter.
Yeah.
I already cried once today. I don't need to cry again. No, that's for Chihuahuas.
Oh, I have a half Chihuahua, half wiener dog. I have a Chiweenie.
Oh,
yeah. He's right here. Let me see if I can show him to you.
He's half terrier, half Chihuahua.
It's a Chiweenie.
Shelby.
Oh,
Tommy Shelby, say hi to E and Bexy.
Oh, hello,
and
puppy.
my sister has a Chug.
Oh, really? A Chihuahua pug?
Yep.
Did it get any brains at all?
Yeah, actually, it got the pug brains.
Oh, well, I heard pugs are dumb dogs.
I have not actually seen that. I've known a number of pugs in my life, and I haven't seen that. They could be a little driven. I'll put it that way. Like, I have a beagle. Smart dog, but does the stupidest stuff because they just get driven.
I think we talked about this on Twitter, where you were telling me that the dog chewed up your headphones.
Yeah, these are my brand new ones, by the way.
Yeah, I heard you on the podcast talking about your new headphones and your beagle chewing them up, and I was like, gosh, that sounds familiar. I think we talked about that.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's hiding right now, and that's fine. He's been my isolation buddy.
That's amazing. Yeah, Tommy Shelby has become, it looks like Bexy, like, what's your doggy's name?
This is Oso.
Oso? Is Oso your emotional support guy?
Actually, no.
Really?
No. He is, I am his emotional support human. He is very needy. My emotional support guy.
Aww.
Java Chip. Here.
Aww.
Mr. Chippy.
I only have one, so I have to get emotional support from him.
And
he's not the best at it.
Come here, princess.
He has anxiety too.
Butters. And I have a little girl over here, Buttercuppy. But the boys are not letting her get near me.
So yesterday and today, I had to take. Are they all Chihuahuas or Chihuahua mixes?
Yes.
Meanwhile, I have a pure beagle and a yellow lab.
So no Chihuahuas or Chihuahua mixes of any kind.
I am not a small dog person. I grew up with a Doberman, a Rottweiler, and a Boxer.
Yeah, I was always a big dog
person
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a Ryuk, a long-furred black cat.
Oh, really? A Ryuk? Is that what a long-furred black cat
No,
is?
that's his name, Ryuk.
That's his name.
Oh, yes. Ryuk. Yeah, I got Tommy Shelby 11 months ago because I was tired of trying to depend on people that wouldn't be there for me. So I got a dog. And I was like, I need a small dog because I don't have a lot of energy because I'm sometimes sick. So I don't want a dog that I have to like walk regularly. I just want a companion, and he's great for that.
That's why I love my tiny doggies.
When I get older, I'm probably going to get a Basset Hound. They're a bit bigger, and basically they have the energy of a potato.
Yeah.
I
I know.
Basset hounds are amazing dogs. So my uncle had basset hounds when I was younger, and I used to love to. I would find them sleeping in the dirt under a tree, and I would go out and just sit with them and pet them and play with their ears and stuff. And they're great.
Their ears are the best. They hang down so long, like almost to the ground, and they're so soft. I love basset hounds' ears.
Buster, come here, you. You're been requested.
Yay! He's ready to chew up your headphones again.
No, he knows better now.
Oh, but he's giving you nice kisses.
He's a
Nice
lover.
kisses.
All right, you're a good boy.
So yeah, Betsy, so I've needed to take a couple mental health breaks the last 2 days because my clients are so, stressed and causing me a lot of stress. So today I came into my bedroom to have my mental health break, which has included Twitter the last 2 days because I love it.
Which is just weird to me because Twitter's a toxic hellhole.
You know what though? It's so funny that you say that because that's what everybody told me. And so I came in like, okay. Oh, I dropped my phone. You probably saw up my nose. It was great, wasn't it? So everybody was like, Twitter's a toxic hellhole. And I was like, yeah, but I really want to start talking, because I turned 50 and I was like, I'm tired of being quiet. I'm tired of being silent or silenced or whatever, and I'm going to start talking. And Twitter seems like a good place to just talk. So I've kind of been working on my messaging because initially when I joined Twitter, I was like, I'm a lefty and I'm going to go out there and punish all the Republicans and all the Trumpists. And then I met all these amazing people who had different political beliefs than I did. And I was like, maybe we could just love each other even if we don't agree politically. And maybe that's what our country needs.
Yes.
Because I've looked at his Twitter handle feed and I know that I think he retweeted Ben Shapiro or some shit like that.
If I did, it was because I was trolling, because I really don't follow Ben Shapiro.
Ben
will make some good points, but he tends to...
Yeah, I remember somebody I really liked on Twitter, and I went and checked him out, and they had retweeted Ben Shapiro, and I was like, I still like you, because I don't like Ben Shapiro, but I'm not talking to Ben Shapiro. I'm talking to you, so yeah, it probably wasn't you. It's hard to tell people apart on Twitter.
It really is. I mean, I will openly say, it's like, it's funny, because people always say that I'm a Trumper. I'm like, show me where I actually support Trump versus I'm correcting the record. Because I did not vote for him. I don't like him, but I don't hate what he did as a president. I think he did some good things and he did some bad things.
I wonder if I can look at Twitter at the same time I'm doing this interview with you.
Yeah.
I want to look at your Twitter feed, your person. Yeah. See what it was. But yeah, I noticed right away when I looked at your Twitter feed that we're not the same politically, but
I'm definitely not Vin or Dom.
No, I saw that yesterday that you were not Vin or Dom, but I had to laugh when you said what you changed your name to. I was like, I wonder if that was for me because it made me so happy.
Definitely not Vin or Dom.
Okay,
I did it to drive the other people nuts to think that I'm trying to hide the fact that I'm not one of them. Because they're so convinced that I am one of them.
Who is convinced that you're one of them?
Oh, jeez. Like half of them? MJB was one of them.
Who are them?
Like MJB, God, just was that we've been in conversation with, like, endlessly for days. I mean, apparently this thing's been going for 2 months, which, yeah...
Well, that's not the longest thread we've ever been involved in.
No, I was in a 3-year one.
Well, there's a thread that I stumbled into with Dom and like all these other people, and I think I met you through there. I don't know how I met anyone on Twitter. Honestly, I'm so confused by the threads and what goes where.
It gets chaotic fast.
I was like that too. At first, it's yeah,
it's hard. Twitter's hard, and I'm an old person, so Twitter's harder for old people. But luckily, one of our friends, I don't know if you know 43 CYOA, Psy.
I am just starting to get to know them.
She's great. I love her.
I'm starting to really like her a lot.
She took pity on me and started DMing me instructions with screenshots and like circles, like push here and do that and do this. And she saved my life because I started the Twitter account like literally like the day after I turned 50. And then I kind of didn't really do anything with it until the end of February 28th. And that was the night I was like, I'm going to get on here and I'm going to yell at Republicans. And so, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I was just yelling at people randomly, which apparently is actually what people do on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
But was not my intention. I actually wanted to have a conversation with people. But I stumbled into a thread with Dom and I said something, you know, bombastic. And she was like, nobody wants you here, Bonnie. Like, you're not liked and don't be such a POS. And I was like, oh, I think I'm making people angry with what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to. I just don't know how to use Twitter. And at first she didn't believe me. And she's like, it's like we're in a grocery store, you know, when you have a cart. And I'm like, I know how to do grocery stores. I don't know how to do Twitter. So, but they decided that they liked me after all, even though it was a rough start. So.
Yeah, I think I had a rough start with them too.
Yeah.
I've had a few rough patches with Dominique, but in the long run, Dominique is just a through and through just an amazing person.
I know. She seems so smart and on it. And yeah, I like her a lot. If she listens to this podcast, shout out to Dominique.
I don't know.
She's amazing.
She definitely listens to the Adorable Boy podcast.
Yeah, I still need to listen to that one.
I started to the other day. It's very funny and very interesting. He plays a piano and like sings songs, which brings me back to the point that I never told Bexy about your music.
Oh, I love his music.
Isn't his music great? So I came in to get on Twitter and have my mental health break. And I had a DM from E. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes. And he said, I trust you, so I'm going to give you this song. And it was a song you wrote for your daughter, right? E?
Yep.
It's the song you wrote for your daughter.
Yes.
So
It's
I
so
started
beautiful.
to listen to it, and immediately I was like, oh, I need to close my eyes and lay down and like really listen to this. But my phone kept shutting off, and it would shut off the song. And so I was like, oh no, this is way too good. I'm going to download the app that it was on.
Box.com, by the way.
Box.com, yeah. I've never heard of it, but I downloaded the app and you sent me a couple more songs after that. And I was like, oh, this is the best. And I sent him this really nice DM. I think it was a nice DM.
It almost made me cry.
I was like,
so
you know what?
sweet.
I was having such a hard day. And you sent me a song that you wrote. Like, it really touched me that you trusted me enough to share something so vulnerable as like your own music with me. I was really moved. And I listened to your music and I imagined like rocking a 4-month-old baby girl while I was listening to her song. And it was so soothing. And I was like, wow, I'm going to listen to this when I go to sleep at night on this new Box app that I just downloaded. And now with this podcast, so I've downloaded 2 apps today because of you, E.
Aww.
I downloaded the Box app, and then I downloaded whatever this app that your podcast is, Spreaker. Yeah, I never heard of that either. So I downloaded 2 apps on my phone for you today, E.
Aw.
But totally worth it. Totally worth it. I'd download 10 more apps if I needed to be able to converse with you.
I need an app for my poetry, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Bexy's poetry is amazing. She's published.
Yeah. Do you use Medium for poetry, maybe? Have you heard of Medium?
No.
Medium is fantastic.
I had forgotten about it.
Yeah, so Medium is an app that people pay to use. And people publish articles and letters and poetry, all kinds of stuff on Medium. Look up Medium. I love it.
I have to look into that.
Yeah, I pay for a year subscription because it's totally worth it to just the things that people write on there are insightful and inspiring. And oh, there's a let me plug somebody real quick. In fact, on Medium, I found this. See if I can switch my camera around. Old people and technology. I'll just turn my phone around. So I read this woman's book, Darlene Lancer. I read some of her articles on Medium, and she is really, really smart and good about like shame resilience and coping. So she wrote this book. It's called Conquering Shame and Codependency. And I bought it off of her through Medium, and I'm maybe halfway through it, but yeah, I've been dealing with mental health issues for a long time. So when you sent me that link and was like, hey, guess what? I have a podcast that I'm going to go live and it's about mental health. I was like, I blew some more blood vessels. I was like, I love talking about mental health.
And all of this from a sock puppet. Jesus.
I know.
Oh, God.
That's what amazed me is like, how does a sock puppet write music? Number one. Secondly, how does a sock puppet take care of a 4-month-old baby? I have questions.
Yeah.
Good at keeping them warm.
Right. Because you're made out of wool. Yeah,
Yep.
remember we had that whole discussion about that Dom wanted to put you in the dryer because you had, and I was like, no, it's going to shrink.
Yeah, I like
And
the
then
one with the downy. That was nice.
Yeah, somebody else recommended Woolite.
Woolite, that's what it was.
Yeah, Woolite. And then air dry on a, rack or something. So you started this podcast with no co-host and no guest. And you have COVID. And now you have a co-host and a guest.
Yeah, it's going pretty good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's one thing about this podcast, too, is that when I start having doubts, it just people pull it together, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Because you got on and you were like, this podcast means so much to me, and I put so much into it, and I feel like it's failing. And then Bexy came on and was like, I feel like I'm failing. And I'm like, oh, my God, I struggle with this all the time. I mean... You
kids!
What's that?
You came on, you're all, you kids.
You kids. Yeah. It was funny because I was talking to a guy today on Twitter and I was like, I don't know if I'm old enough to be your mom or not, but if you were my son, this is how I would treat you. Dave Swindle. Do you know Dave Swindle?
No.
Anyways, he's got parent problems. I've been having this deep conversation with 2 other guys on Twitter about our parent problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You're tight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, we
Be
can
glad
have
I'm
those
not on
2
camera right now.
We can invite those 2 on to your podcast to discuss their dad problems. I think one has a dad problem, but then his dad passed away, and the other one has a mom and a dad problem. And I just have a dad problem. My mom passed away, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. I still have both of my parents, and
Mine have both
did
passed
have
away.
dad problems, but he just had his birthday. And, Bexy, should I read what I wrote to my dad?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And if after you do that, I'll read what I wrote for Dominique.
Oh, good. I would love to hear that.
All right, I have to find it.
I have mine already pulled up.
Go for it.
Okay, Bexy,
Okay.
you go first while E looks for his.
Okay. Yeah, this is basically my life until I met her and E. Little girl lost in a sea of unease. The weight of the world brought her to her knees, and she fell in a pit of despair black as night. She was tired, worn out, and just couldn't fight. She thought it was over, that her life was done. The door had been shut, the final song sung. And as she swallowed her poison and waited for life to end, an angel appeared and said, I'll be your friend. So the girl reached out and unloaded her woe, and when she was done, she thought the angel would go. But the angel just told her, I gave you the truth, and now that you have it, here's some further proof. Proof that you matter. You're valid and loved. proof that you don't have to be constantly shoved. And the girl, she was grateful and knew if she listened and learned that the bad things she felt would soon become turned. So she let go of unearned guilt and worked through the abuses of her past. And after a time, the angel said, "At last, you've become the woman I knew you could be. You're truly my masterpiece, don't you see?" And the girl cried happy tears and smiled at her friend because she learned how to love herself in the end.
Oh.
Something else happened she did not foresee. She had helped the angel to be stronger, you see. Helped her to spread her wings and to fly. And once again, the girl had to cry. She had been helped by the angel, but she didn't know that she was helping the angel to grow. So this is the story about how an angel saved me and how I became one in turn, you see.
Oh. Wow. That is so lovely, Bexy. Thank you for sharing that.
And Kat posted some emotional support critters in Discord. We have a Discord.
Oh.
Yes, we do.
Somebody mentioned Discord to me the other day, a friend of mine that I would really like to talk to more often that doesn't live near me. And I asked him, like, do you have a Twitter handle? Because I'd really like to be able to converse with you. And he was like, I have Discord. And I was like, I don't know what that is. So I haven't tried Discord yet.
Discord is a little interesting because, like, everybody can have their own Discord server. You could bounce around between different servers. You could change your identity between servers.
Yeah?
And they have different channels. Like, we have an art channel, so people could share their art, whether it's video games that they made, or things that they've drawn, or computer art, or poetry, creative writing, music, whatever. It's all art.
Yeah.
And then we also have areas to discuss episodes. Just, we don't have a big enough following yet to really get some good discussions going yet, but I could see if we keep growing, we will get there.
Yeah.
Where we could have, the idea is so that way we have the community that could go beyond the live episode. So if there's still discussions that need to be done, well, we have the Discord. And so
it sounds like I'm going to be downloading my third app.
Yeah, it's a little more convoluted than Twitter. And I mean, like, it's a lot more convoluted.
It's okay. I have my really good friend, the one that mentioned Discord. I could actually ask him to help me.
Nice.
So he could probably help me figure it out. And my son uses it. He's 31.
And DeVern said, "Holy fuck, that's deep, Bexy." And Kat, "Bexy, that was amazing. Someone must be cutting onions."
Aw. Yeah.
I've cut a few onions myself tonight. It's okay. I wish they'd stop cutting onions.
Right?
Man.
So here's what I wrote.
I could read something else, and then the onions would be affecting someone else, but no. I won't do that to you.
No. I love that poem.
What were you reading us, E?
So I wrote this for my dad.
Oh, yes.
The other day. So today is a very important day. For it wasn't for today, I wouldn't be alive. You see, today is my dad's birthday. Actually, use his real name, or as I like to call him, Dad. We didn't always have a great relationship. We were both stubborn to a fault, and sometimes that came to a head. At the same time, I had the best father a son could ask for. Oops, hey, no, don't collapse. Stay expanded. He taught me to ski. He taught me to run routes for football. He taught me the rules to every sport I know. He was my coach, my mentor, and sometimes my best friend. I forgot to mention he also taught me how to fish.
Mm.
He was also the heavy, the punisher, the disciplinarian. He was the single hardest worker I know. Damn it, quit it. Quit collapsing. He's retired now, so was is appropriate. He is no longer the hardest worker I know. He's retired.
Yeah.
Though stubborn, he has it in him to change his stance when given evidence that counters his beliefs. Something I had only come to appreciate more and more as I've gotten older. Speaking of which, I have come to a deeper understanding of how compassionate and caring he is. He is one of the hardest things he did one of the hardest things I can imagine. He listened to the first episode of my podcast. I won't divulge the contents of our conversation that happened minutes after the episode ended, but I'll say I have only come to love this man even more than ever. He is a man caught between generations, as he's done an admirable job navigating between them. He can suck it up and carry on with the best of them. but he also knows how to be vulnerable and let his feelings and struggles be known. I cannot fathom how hard it is to have been raised by the men are men and we don't show our feelings greatest generation, and also deal with the it's not unmanly to cry and open up Generation X ways. I was happy to have him as my best man in my first wedding, and his telling of my birth from his perspective at my bachelor party in full detail was absolutely amazing. Something I want him to do on my podcast.
Yeah.
He had a good 70% of the guests enthralled with the story, including me. He is an incredible orator and a deep thinker, things I still aspire to achieve to this day. I am genetically half the man he is, and I hope to reach that in character and in heart. I love you very much, Dad, and I want the whole world to know it.
That's so nice.
We had our issues. He had his demons. Some got passed on to me. And it was actually, of all things, it was the movie Enter the Dragon, or not Enter the Dragon, just Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. Gave me the one quote that set me on a life mission, which is that you pass your demons on to your children.
Yeah.
That day forward, I swore to slay as many of my demons as I could.
Yeah.
Now, my dead smack in the middle child, I raised 4, I fathered 4, but I didn't have all 4. They're not all the same. I claim 5. My oldest child that I fathered was adopted, but has since come back into my life. Okay. And the oldest child that I claim, I've been his dad since he was 13 months old.
Okay.
He still calls me dad. He is now, God, I think he's 25 and has a kid.
Oh, wow.
So I have 2 grandkids with the third on the way, actually.
Wow, you're so lucky. I don't have any grandkids yet.
I love being a grandpa. I do.
You know what? My son and his wife got married in 2017. And I had my son when I was only 18. So I was a little bit like, oh, I'm too young to be a grandmother. You know, I'm only whatever I was a few years ago. Less than 50. 47 or whatever. And, but then after they got married, I was like, oh no, you know what? Having a grandchild sounds really good.
Oh, it's fun.
I know, babies that you don't have to be responsible for, but they're part of your family and you get to love them and be part of their life and do all the good stuff. I'm like, yes to that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I get to play with you. Oh, you're making a grunty face? You're making a grunty? Yeah. It stinks. It's yours.
Yeah. I'm sorry I'm bad with the camera, E.
No, it's all good.
I wasn't planning to do Zoom on my phone tonight, but here we are.
Yeah, so...
Here we are. But I didn't know it was going to be on
as far as the it stinks, it's yours. Has anybody ever did that with you, E?
Yes. My dad never changed a poopy diaper in his life.
No.
He couldn't. He tried once with me, and he almost threw up all over me.
No. Did you ever consider that that's just because it was you?
Could be.
No.
Have you always...
My gas is
always
infamous.
Been strong bowels.
You have infamous gas.
I'm not lying. I'm not bragging. I'm not trying to show off what I say. I really want someone to come along whose farts are worse than mine because I don't want to die knowing that I could not find someone stinkier than me.
You know, there was that chick that was selling her farts in a jar. They
weren't nearly as strong as you'd think.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, maybe you could sell your farts in a jar and see if you could find...
I'd be arrested for that.
Like $30.
I'd be arrested for that.
Right, too much methane, it would probably explode. It would be
and that person's diet was hard-boiled eggs and baked beans. It was like, I'm having problems.
She put herself in the hospital with that, yeah.
But she made like $200,000.
I'm telling you, gas is expensive these days.
That was really close.
On Russia, you know, like, what are you gonna do?
I love the meme that it shows Joe Biden wandering around. Does anybody have gas? Anyone? And he's walking around looking away from Texas the entire time. And Texas is like, yo. California has a lot of gas, too.
I'm on a podcast. Do you want to say hi to the podcast?
Hi, podcast people.
Why, hello.
That's my husband. I love him. He's the love of my life. His name is James.
Hi, James.
Hi. That's E and Bexy.
Hi.
He just came home from work, and he's not a social guy. he has to be social at work. And so by the time he gets home, he's like, I want to talk to you and nobody else. And I'm like, you know what? I can respect that.
I
Boundaries.
get that.
I totally
Boundaries
get
are
that.
super important.
I did tech support and customer service for 26 years. I get that.
Oh, wow. Oh, man.
I now do, I now test software in a lab, and I only talk to the people I want to talk to.
Ooh, yeah.
You see, I am home all day with a mentally disabled child. So
And child's still an adult, but has
he's a 35-year-old 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is my my younger brother that my parents adopted when I was 6.
Oh.
My parents are now both gone, and he's been my responsibility for quite some time.
For as long as I've known you.
Yes, for years and years.
And do you live together?
I love him dearly, but he is not the greatest conversationalist. Most conversation consists of Becky. Yes, Adam. Hi.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch Aladdin. Okay, Adam.
Yeah.
I can show you the world.
Shining, shimmering, splendid. You know you can't sing Disney songs around me, you jackass.
I know I can't. That's why I did it.
This is so fun. How long do these podcasts usually last? And should I get off of your podcast so you can carry on with doing the podcast?
Oh, this is a podcast.
This is a podcast. This is awesome.
So basically, you were saying, but never.
And I'm so happy to have met you now.
And you
I
were
did
saying,
follow you back on
met
Twitter.
You too.
And you were saying my music helped you with your mental health, and that's awesome.
I don't know where you live and where I live, but I'm going to ask somebody in DMs, and they'll tell me, and then it won't be on the podcast. Or you could edit it out, I guess.
No.
I don't care. We can't edit anything out because we're live, but I live in Texas.
Oh.
And I live in California.
You live in Texas? I'm not going to say.
That's okay.
Yeah. You know, don't you, E, where I live?
Mm-mm.
You don't?
No.
Okay, well, I'll tell you both, but not on the podcast.
That's fine.
That's good.
Again, if anybody hears my voice and they hear the city I live in, they might put two and two together.
So, you live in the United States?
I do. I definitely live in the United States.
So we narrowed you down to about about 350 million.
Yeah, and I do taxes. So,
which is still a million more.
How many people do you think do taxes in the United States?
Well, considering I go into H&R Block and I see about 7 people at each H&R Block, and there's like 200 of them in my neighborhood, it seems, and there's Liberty Tax. There's a lot of people that do taxes.
Yes, and by the way, this I definitely want to include in your podcast. Please don't go to H&R Block. It's very, very expensive, and the service is very bad.
Yeah, sorry. There goes our sponsorship that we never had.
Yeah. H&R Block is bad. The whole company, and also TurboTax and Intuit. I have so many bad things to say about.
I have had I've used H&R Block, I've used Liberty Tax, and I've used TurboTax. I've used Tax Return, and then I use a little private company.
Yeah.
Best service I've had. Biggest returns, slowest costs, by far. The mom and pop place. By far.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah. Because the mom and pop place isn't paying for all the advertising and branding for the H&R franchise that they bought.
Yep.
So, yeah. Let me just say that.
Also, the people that have been working there, every one of them works there all year round. They're not just there seasonally. Yeah. Right. And they didn't just take a 2-hour crash course or a 1-day crash course on here's how you do taxes. These people know taxes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing it for since 2015, so 7 years. And yeah, I don't want to say too much more than that, but I've definitely worked to conceal my identity professionally on Twitter. I don't care if people know that it's me that's talking on Twitter. I just don't want my clients to you know, it's important to be confidential when you're talking about people's taxes.
Yes.
Which
Now,
I'm not the best at, and so I have to be careful.
so
I don't have the best filter.
I gotta say something because it's just, for me, it's completely unconscionable. Is that there is a person that is in Twitter that that Dom and I don't really get along with, who has a name of an OBGYN and claims to have been published and claims all these things. And yet they say that they are retired, but if you look this person up, they are active. With the same name, same city. And when people have reached out to this doctor, said, no, that's not me. I'm not even on Twitter. That is unconscionable to completely hijack someone's identity. And then say things like, oh, so I was treating this person for postpartum. Sorry, OBGYNs don't deal with postpartum. OBGYNs deal with baby and birth. Mental health deals with postpartum. They can do the initial, here, let me get you a referral. Here, let me get you some meds. They can only do the initial. This person was trying to say that they were doing it completely on their... No. I'm sorry. No. I don't think there's a single state. And especially, I know this state that they're in. I know their laws. There is no way that would fly.
Yeah. You'll have to tell me who it is in the DMs, because I'm curious now. Does Bexy know? Bexy fell asleep.
No,
Bexy
didn't fall asleep.
She's in pain. She's tired. She's asleep. Yeah.
And Kat finished her 6,000 steps. And also, even Kat said, this is the podcast. When you were like, you need me to get off, so continue. No, this is the podcast. We're talking about mental health. We're talking about things that impact mental health.
Yes.
I mean, talk about the worst thing you could do to someone who suffers from seasonal affective disorder is to isolate them in an office. Hi.
Horrible.
Let's just say that you could call me Stinky Pete right now, and not because of gas. I just don't want to go in the house and infect anybody.
Oh, are you... So you said you have COVID. Are you stuck out in like an office or something? Is that what you mean?
Yep, I have a detached office in my backyard.
Oh, and so are you sleeping in there and everything?
I have a lazy boy hide-a-bed with a brand new mattress. I have heating and air. I have a mini fridge. I have a Keurig. I have a doggy door so the dogs can come and go as they please. Oh. Yeah, I got the setup. I have an air filter.
How long have you been stuck in your office?
Just over a week.
Oh my gosh. So how much longer do you have to stay quarantined? Until you get a positive test or something?
Well, even after you're no longer symptomatic, those the PCR test will still come up positive because you have the antigens.
Yeah.
But basically, it's once you've been symptom-free for X number of days, you can come out. Or 10 days after you started your symptoms, you can typically come out. But my work won't have me back yet because,
Oh.
There's some people there that are, like, we have some people that are right on the verge of retirement, and we have some that are older than me who are taking care of their elderly parents.
Oh,
and the last thing I want to be is the person that gets those people sick.
Right.
Sorry, I would rather die first.
Oh. Well, I hope you don't die or get them sick. Let's do neither of those things.
That's kind of where I'm aiming.
Yeah, totally. So, what's your plan to get out of the office and out of quarantine? Are you still having symptoms then?
Today's my first day feeling a little bit better.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I couldn't tell that you had COVID when I was interacting with you on Twitter. Oddly, it didn't come through. So
I'm pretty good at masking things.
Not like you had COVID.
Okay, so fun story about sock accounts.
Okay.
When I first got on Twitter and I first met Bexy, I was gone as just myself. And then I created a Twitter handle called Sock Puppet Truths, plural.
Right.
And I created another one called Sue Denim 18. Get it?
Shoe? Like a shoe on your
Sue,
foot?
like a boy named Sue.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Sue
Denim.
Denim, like the jeans. So it's pseudonym. Was the name.
Sue
I
Denim.
cannot believe how many people did not realize that. Oh my god.
My name was literally pseudonym.
Sue Denim.
And
The
I would have
moment-
gotten that. I don't think I would have picked up on that.
The moment Sue Denham followed me on Twitter, I went into E's DMs and I went, "This is you, isn't it?"
yep.
See, now that I'm starting to get to know you, E, I'm going to be able to tell your signature better because, you know, and
I
that's
have
one
a
of the
style.
things I noticed you do have a real style, and so do I. And I think our styles match.
My
pretty well.
style is really good at finding who the blowhards are and to
Yeah.
just piss them off.
Yeah.
And they always
Yeah.
go, I'm not mad, you're mad. And I'm like, I'm sitting there. If you could see me, Bexy's seen it. She's seen me live
Yeah.
tweeting.
I've
I
seen
am
it.
laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
Like, you're so triggered. I'm like, I'm triggered. Oh, okay. Wait till this one comes across.
Well, is there anything I can do to help you with your podcast? At the beginning of the podcast, you were like, this isn't working. We aren't getting guests. I would love to help you.
If you could help get guests, just
Yes,
As
I can
easy-
help get guests. Now, I don't have a lot of time right now because
that's
of Texas.
fine.
So
We just
full disclosure.
just have them email guests at amimental.net.
Okay.
It's that
I
easy.
can send an email out to a bunch of people.
And that's that. Whenever someone sends an email in, it gets forwarded to all three of us: me, Bexy, and the other co-host C, who's feeling like crap.
Okay.
So all three of us will get the reply,
Okay.
and then one of us will
Okay.
take point on it.
Okay.
Usually
you'd
me
like-
or Bexy.
You'd like
Yes.
some more guests on your podcast.
We at one point
Yes.
had okay, so I was able to at one point. This was back when Reddit's r/mental health allowed you to go ahead and say, "Hey, I have a podcast. I'd like to get some guests." I wound
Yeah.
up booking for 2 seasons and had a wait list. They
Uh-huh.
don't allow that anymore.
Oh, no.
Like you realize that you're actually taking a source away that could help people because not
Yeah.
only did I get 2 seasons worth of guests, I got extra listeners and some people that actually their lives got better because of it.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
I'm
no.
not doing it. I'm not making any money. None of us are making any
Yeah.
money. All the money that we do make goes directly back into the podcast. All
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, it's hard to monetize podcasts, is what I've heard.
You have to
But
get about
I've been really
10,000
interesting-
listeners to
I've
get
been-
monetized.
How many followers do you have currently on your podcast?
Followers or average listens? Because those are different things.
Yeah. So followers are the ones that see it live, right? Hey, Tommy.
Well,
puppy.
we have a lot of people that will come and listen live, but they're not technically a follower because they don't actually follow.
Okay.
And how to follow is up for debate. I need to actually create a second account just to figure out how to do it. Because we only have like 15 technical followers, but we have way
Okay.
more listeners.
How many people listen to an average podcast, do you think?
Let's see here. Statistics.
Yeah.
And should we be talking about this
Hey,
on the
they
podcast?
changed it.
Or
We do it
separate
all the
from
time.
podcast?
Yeah, we talk about
we
this
talk
all the
about
time.
this stuff on the podcast all the time.
Okay, great.
I don't know that I like their new way of doing this.
Oh, did they change it on us?
Okay, I got it back to the old way.
Okay.
So, one of our last episodes... Did we have one on February 18th?
Let me look.
I think so, because it's a spike. It wasn't one of our more popular ones. We had 8 live listens and 16 downloads, but we've had episodes go up to about 100. You know,
Okay.
it bounces
Yeah.
around a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think we did have one on the 18th, actually.
Let's see, last 12 months.
Did
I'm
we?
doing a breakdown here. So August of last year, August of 2021, we had a total of 282 downloads of 44 live plays. You know, we bounce around a bit. And January, we had 208 downloads, 22 live plays. February, shortened month. Not only shortened because it's a shorter month, we also took 3 weeks off. 194 downloads, 17 live plays. Even in March, this is the first episode. We already have 16 downloads. And today's...
Right now.
This is not even counting today.
Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting. I don't know that much about podcasting, but I've been having a strong desire to learn.
So yeah, so far we have, between live plays and downloads since we launched, 4,000. A little bit more.
Total for all the seasons.
Total for all the seasons.
That's actually really good, though.
Yeah.
You should feel good about that. I mean, that's
Oh, I do.
4,000 people. You know, I mean,
Oh, definitely.
yeah.
I mean, we're
you
listening
guys-
to the United States, Canada, Ireland, United Kingdom, Spain, Guyana, France, UK, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Ukraine, Poland, Germany, the Netherlands, Pakistan, India, the Philippines, Taiwan, Australia, and New Zealand.
Wow, that's gonna make you feel good. You're famous.
No, we're not.
Well, listen. I will help you and get you.
And what's funny is that our number 2 country for listening is New Zealand, followed by
Really?
India.
Oh, interesting.
Then the United Kingdom, and then Canada. You have to go that far to
Kiwis
get.
are the best.
I love Kiwis.
Yeah, I would like to go to New Zealand. There's this family on YouTube that's in New Zealand, and they just look at American videos or American foods or whatever.
I know the
And
one
it's
you're talking
so
about.
Fascinating. They got the mom and the dad and the 2 kids.
Yep.
Have
Yep.
you watched that one?
Yes.
Oh, I love that New Zealand family. If you family New Zealand are watching or listening, shout out to you because you're doing a great job.
Exactly.
They eat American foods on their YouTube channel and talk about them.
I follow 2 different British groups. One's a British couple that lives in Jersey, that little island of Jersey, and another lives in London by himself. And same kind of thing. They try American foods, and they get care packages, and it's really interesting to watch. Like one, it was the couple. They got the cheddar goldfish and Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
And one's like, I really don't like cheese. I was like, I really like cheese. The one that really liked cheese loved the goldfish. The one that didn't care for cheese loved the Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah. It's not like there's really cheese in there, though. Let's be honest.
Right. Now, as far as platforms, we're listened to on Apple's number 1, then Spreaker, then Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, JioSaavn, which is the Indian one, Amazon Music, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Player FM, our own website, Podbean, LaughV, Chrome, an Audible player, Firefox, Alexa Media Player, Pocket Cast, Castbox, one that just says generic Android app, and then other.
A third.
Other.
So how do you promote the podcast?
Usually when I have a little bit of extra money, I'll just go on to Facebook and just run an ad.
Oh.
That's pretty much, that's our advertising.
Okay.
I pretty much just share it on my Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of times when people jump on, they're like, hey, I'm going to have an episode, they'll usually broadcast about it. I do some advertising on TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm getting more and more guests off of TikTok. I'm starting to think that we might actually one day have a whole season of just TikTok personalities.
Yeah.
TikTok is happening. just saying.
Yeah.
People could go ahead and talk
not
bad
much
all they
about
want.
TikTok. I finally downloaded that app on my iPad and not on my phone because I'm particular about what apps I download on my phone.
Right.
So I downloaded TikTok and as soon as I started watching it, I was like, oh my God, it jumps right into the videos. And it's just really overwhelming for my nervous system. I was like, there's no safe space here to like YouTube, you can go to the main page where it shows you thumbnails of all the videos, and TikTok doesn't have that. And I feel like I have no landing space on TikTok.
Right. Actually,
completely get that.
And I just decided to jump on TikTok just now just to see.
Yeah.
And yep, I have someone else that's like, yes, I would love to get on your podcast. What's funny is that these people, like this person in particular, 187,000 followers.
Wow.
And they're scared to death
great.
to come on this podcast.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's hard to talk. It's hard to talk on the record.
Well, they spend all their time talking on their thing, but they get a maximum of 3 minutes.
On a video for
3
TikTok.
hours.
And we're up to 3 hours. There's
wow.
a big difference right there.
Yeah.
This one here, followers, 970,000 followers.
Yeah.
And they're already booked to be on the podcast.
They're booked beyond the podcast? What does that mean?
Their episode is going to be... let me scroll back up here. Their episode is March 31st.
So do you have all your, it sounds like you have a calendar with all your episodes scheduled out.
Yep.
Because earlier, before I was able to get Spreaker and stuff, I could hear you like, I don't have a guest next week. I have a guest the week after that. And
Yeah, I have
you were really bummed out. And
yeah, all three of us, we all happen, like, it's just coincidental that all three of us happen to use Apple products. So I created a shared calendar. So all three of us can book.
Yeah, I just booked one in today.
And you're talking about
not a bird, not a plane.
You're talking about a Google Calendar?
Yes.
Google Calendars are great. We use that at work, and I love it because, you know, you've got different colors for different people's meetings. And
yeah, we have different colors for different calendars.
Yeah, right, exactly. Here's E's calendar, here's Bexy's calendar, and here's C's calendar.
No, this one is just here's the Am I Mental calendar.
Oh, okay.
And then we just throw them all in.
All of my Am I Mental notices are in red on my calendar.
Same.
Got it.
C's probably like, mine's not the default gold. Yes, C, I'm talking smack about you, and when you get on the episode, I'll talk it to your face. I will never say behind someone's back what I'm not willing to say to their face.
Right.
This is true.
Yeah, well, I guess this episode turned out better than you thought it would when you first started, huh?
Yes. Like,
yes.
So much
You know,
better.
there's something... E and I have always had this relationship where I tell people constantly, you know, I haven't, I might not have been feeling good lately, and I know he hasn't been feeling very well, but he is literally my human Prozac.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When
Bexy
Bexy was discovering herself, we talked daily on the phone.
Every day.
A lot of times FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
She could be having the worst day on the planet. Within 20 minutes, I have her laughing.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, it's like human connection, right? And sharing vulnerability. And actually, like, you and I were able to build trust through Twitter really quickly. Because I'm a real person and you're a real person.
Right, you treated me with respect and dignity. I give it right back. I say every time. I give what I get, but I default to respectful.
Right.
Anytime someone new pops up, I'm probably going to be like, okay, this is wrong because of this, or, you know what, you made a good point there. I'm going to be respectful. The instant you attack me, okay, all bets are off.
Right, yeah.
You're not going to get respect if you're not respectful. It's a two-way street.
Oh, help you. Should you attack someone he loves? Or I should say someone he hates less than most.
That's my running joke. I don't love, I only hate, but I hate some people less than most, and I hate my kids least of all. But don't make a mistake, I hate my kids.
I don't believe it, E. I think you're a lover, not a fighter.
I am.
I know. I get it.
I am.
Bexy, if you ever need a break from co-hosting or need another co-host, I'd be happy to do it.
Aww.
I know how hard it is when you're sick to be able to, like, perform and function and stuff. And I'd be happy to back up for you if E would have me. I don't know. We do get along well, so I feel like it would be okay. But, you know, he could try me out.
Yeah. I mean...
I've never done it before.
You ready for this?
Full disclosure.
C had an episode. First episode to go the full 3 hours.
Yeah.
As soon as the episode was over, I immediately texted Bexy with one question. Co-host? The reply back was yes. And I immediately contacted C. At this time, it was all through Reddit. And I was like, would you like to be a co-host?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
And just give you an idea, when C first started co-hosting, C was only 17. Now 18. We had to get that express permission from the parents that it was okay to do and all that, which we got.
Yeah.
But yeah, and watching C grow has just been outstanding.
The most amazing thing.
You could get permission from my dad if you want to, but we haven't spoken in over a year. So I don't know if he's going to want to give that permission, but, you could try. You could call him.
I think we should. I think we would have better luck getting permission from your little emotional support dog over there. That's who we really should be asking.
Yeah, he's under the blankets again.
Oh,
he lives
Chihuahuas love to burrow.
Tommy Shelby.
Yes. Meanwhile, Sadie came in here, laid down next to me, farted, and then left.
Oh, that's an awful thing. But yeah,
payback.
It's payback.
I just have a lot of empathy for being sick and not being able to do the things that you really want to do and are important to you. And
by the way,
you're struggling, and I feel you, and I'm happy to step in for you.
By the way, Deverne in the chat said this lady would make a great co-host. Her voice is good for it.
Oh, that's so nice.
And Deverne's one of those people who Deverne does not mince words.
No, he does not.
If Deverne doesn't like it, he'd be like, this person sucks, get him off the air. He wouldn't.
This person is not going to be a good co-host. No.
Yeah, so you got Deverne's seal of approval, and that's not easy to come by.
Oh, nice. I'm so excited. Thank you. Did you say it's Laverne?
Deverne.
Deverne. Deverne.
Yeah.
Thank you, Deverne. Thank you. I love you too. Mwah.
Yeah, actually, the person that's I was trying to get on the air tonight, but they were traveling. They are actually now the one managing our website, so that's one more thing off my plate.
Mm-hmm.
There's still some work that needs to be done. Like, we are more than a year behind on episodes being added on. But it's one of those things, once she sees how it's done, she's like, okay, done.
What does that mean, a year behind on episodes being added? What does that mean?
Like, if you go to our website and go to episodes, you'll see that the entire year, too, is just not there.
Yeah, okay. So somebody has to go through the tedious work of, like, uploading episodes to those...
It's not even uploading, it's just linking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's yeah, and I also have a mini player embedded into the site, so that way you can listen to the episodes without leaving our webpage.
You and I need to talk. We just need to talk, like, off the air and about podcasting and life and ways we can help each other, because I think that God brought us together, and I don't know if I'm religious yet or not. I haven't decided.
I'm spiritual, not religious.
Yeah, well, I have some religious trauma that I'm working through, because, that also
I was a Catholic altar boy!
I was a Mormon. Yeah.
And we both have issues.
Yeah. Bexy, you got anything?
But you know what? I will say this.
I was raised Southern Baptist and Pentecostal.
Well, that makes sense for Texas, though, right?
Ohio.
Oh, Ohio and Texas. Do you know what Pentecostals are? These are the holy rollers. These are the stand-up, dance in the aisles, speaking tongues. Yeah. Oh my, no.
Yeah, and then the next step up from that is the ones that hold the snakes.
Yes. So my grandparents are from a small town in very, very far south Illinois. It's like so much closer to Kentucky. It's an hour to Kentucky and 5 hours to Chicago. That's how far down in southern Illinois they live. And so I still have cousins there and stuff like that. And my cousin, she's so funny. And I was asking her about the churches down there in southern Illinois. And she goes, she has a southern accent because she lives in southern Illinois. She doesn't think it's a southern accent, but I know a southern accent when I hear one because I'm from a different part of the country. So
I did so much phone support with the South that I actually got to the point that I could identify which state, or in some cases, which city you're from based on your accent.
Well, yeah, again, something we should talk about off the air.
And there's one person I was listening, and I was like, your address says South Carolina, and I could kind of hear it, but you're from Tennessee, aren't you? They're like, how'd you know?
Yeah.
I can hear the Tennessee light lilt and twang.
I love listening to people's accents and trying to figure out where they're from. But the New York Times did this quiz basically asking you how you pronounce certain words, and it could get you down to the location in the country that it thinks that you're from. And mine was almost exactly spot on.
If you can find that link, I'm curious.
Me
Let me see
too.
if I can. Let me see if I can.
Because that sounds cool.
That
Yeah,
sounds fun.
it was really cool. I'm glad I took it because it blew my mind. Because when I answered all the questions, it was like, oh, you're from this place. And I was like, yeah, I am from that place. It felt like witchcraft, you know?
I still love the one about, it was in Baltimore. It's all the same word. Earl is like earns the iron, earn. It's all, Earl earns, Wait, we really sound like that?
I'm looking at the New York Times app to see if I can find it. I find that the search feature on the New York Times app is not great. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not in love with it.
I hope it's not behind a paywall because I refuse to pay legacy media.
I do pay the New York Times.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that this is not behind a paywall. This particular thing, because that's a cool feature.
Well, I have to find it, and if it's behind a paywall, I'll just give you my login.
Oh, so you're just too
now
kind.
Now that we're best friends, you can have my login to the New York Times.
I like you. I really like you.
Aw, E, I love you too.
Aww.
It's been a blast talking to you on Twitter. It is so funny. You're so funny.
I tried. I just
I got it.
Oh, Bex, you found it. I go and I just have fun on Twitter. I'm there to have fun. I understand the areas I go into are toxic cesspits of like hell, and half humanity, like half of humanity would die in there.
And
I was raised in that stuff, man. So I was like,
Yeah.
There's people that come at me. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
I've been through worse. This is nothing.
Throw this in the.
Bexy?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw this in the Discord too.
The New York Times one?
Yes.
Did you find it?
How y'all use and you guys talk.
You found it. That's great. I know where my accent comes from, and I'm going to tell E, but not on the Twitter. Because, but I think he's already figured it out anyways. So I think I have been made. Have I been made or have I not been made?
No, not yet. But were you surprised at how quick I was able to identify tax consultant?
No. Well, and I've mentioned taxes on Twitter. I just don't go into detail about it. Because you know Jaden, right?
Yes.
I told Jaden I was busy. Really, like March is the busiest year of the month for us. And he said, what do you got going on in March? And I said, tax returns. Have you gotten your tax return done yet? And he said, no. And so I'm willing to say I do taxes, even though I really don't want people on Twitter to ask me about taxes because
I'm not going to ask.
No.
I mean, unless you're in my state, there's no good comes of it. You can help me with like maybe federal.
That's actually not true. I can do taxes for all 50 states.
Oh.
Don't tell anyone though, okay?
Tell who?
We'll just keep that between you and I.
Yeah, and the rest of the internet that just heard.
Damn it. Shoot. Foiled again.
See? Oh god, you're gonna bring a whole different energy in on the episodes that you get to host.
I really want to. Like, I don't know if I believe in God or whatever, but when I turned 50, I get a message from the universe, and the message said, Bonnie, you need to start talking and don't stop talking until the day you die. And I was like, okay.
I like that. I stayed quiet for too long.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, women are really like people don't like it when women start talking. And strong women, I bet you do, E, because you're comfortable with yourself. But, the toxic masculinity, patriarchal, hierarchical crowd, they don't like it when women have opinions and stuff.
It's because they're weak.
They just want us to be quiet and pretty and thin and have babies and give them sex when they want it. And I'm not talking about my husband. He's great. But
I mean, I still want all that too. But I also want to that you're a human being. You have thoughts, you have dreams, you have wishes, you have fears, you have issues. I want to know all of it.
Right. But I think that there's a certain segment of the male population that just sees women as like two-dimensional objects almost. And wow, I could really go off on a tangent on this. And maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Everybody's sitting there staring at me, waiting for me to say more.
It's up to you.
Well, it's just, and of course Mormon, right? Like the most misogynistic church. Or maybe it's not.
Actually,
I don't know.
It's a
we can
joke.
talk about.
So I have a little thing. It's a group chat between just me and a couple of friends. Are you familiar with the game Fuck, Marry, Kill?
Yes.
We play it 24/7, 365. And
I have been accidentally sent one of these text messages before, and I was like, I think you sent this to the wrong person. And he's like, oh, shit. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to go to you.
Yeah, well, you've also sent me things too, but you went, oh, shit, that was supposed to go to your husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one of our
That's not
jokes.
supposed to go there.
Yeah, one of our jokes is like if it's 3 women that were just like, oh my god, I don't want to kill any of them. We'll actually do a joke, MMM Orman, or I'm taking them to Utah, stuff like that.
MMM, yeah.
Yeah, for like Mary,
Yeah.
and then it's like it's Mormon.
Yeah. The polygamy thing is real. I mean, it doesn't happen. Well, it doesn't happen in the main Mormon church anymore because the federal government passed a law saying it was illegal, so the Mormons had to stop. By the way, me talking about anything Mormon related is going to draw anti-Mormon terrorists, by the way, or like Mormon terrorists who are like don't want anti-Mormon stuff on the internet. So
I have friends that are Mormon. I have friends that have gone to becoming Mormon. I have friends that have left the Mormon. It doesn't bother me at all.
I'm not worried about you, E. I'm worried about other people hearing the podcast, and if I say anything negative about the Mormon church, you're going to get trolled for it. And I just want to make sure that you're okay with that.
Oh, well.
Because I know that's how I feel about them, too.
If they come into the chat, they'll find themselves banned instantly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah. That's the thing about Twitter that's so great, too, is I'm like, if I don't want to talk to anybody anymore, I could just block them. And if somebody doesn't want to talk to me or doesn't like what I'm saying, they can just mute me or block me or whatever. Like, I don't give a shit. Oh, sorry. Can I say shit on the podcast?
Yeah, you can say it if you fucking want to.
Okay.
We have the explicit thing enabled. No, we are explicit. Because sometimes fuck is the right thing to say.
Yes, it is.
Have you heard that song by Billie Eilish, Happier Than Ever?
I have not. And I like Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish, so if you're having mental health on any given day, like literally any day, and maybe for some of it's every day.
Your microphone's muted a little bit. You're muffled.
Oh, because I propped you up on pillows.
Yeah, just need the microphone.
It's funny because it's my iPhone, but I actually bought myself I wanted a podcast so bad I actually bought myself a real microphone. And I haven't even hooked it up to the computer yet. I just bought it, and it's like sitting on the shelf, like looking beautiful, ready for me to use.
I can help with that.
Yes. But again, it's like I've been busy with taxes, and so I'm like, okay, that podcasting dream that I have is going to come up soon, but right now I'm busy. But now I'm on a podcast right now, so.
Yeah, if you have a nice microphone, we'll get that thing up and running.
Yeah, do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how good it is. I only paid like $30 or $40 for it.
It's the way that technology's moved. My microphone that I spent $300 on is worth like $60 now. So
yeah.
How?
I don't know if it's good.
Oh, is that a Yeti?
It's this, whatever that is. Can you read that? Probably not while I'm. Tonar.
CT777. I'll look that up.
Okay. Yeah. See, there's a cord here that is plugged into nothing because I have not plugged it in and tried to set it up yet. Actually, I might have set it up with my computer. But yeah, Bexy, do you need to go to sleep?
Okay, so it has real high ratings. 4.4 out of 5 stars from 27,000 reviews.
I know, that's why I bought it.
That's excellent.
Good.
I do the podcast a lot from my bed because of the Hashimoto. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. I mean,
That's
because
nice. It comes with a pop filter too. That's awesome.
yeah. It's the chronic illness that I've dealt with is Epstein-Barr virus. It keeps reactivating and killing, like crushing me with it, which is so I've been so sick that I would have to co-host a podcast from my bed. But so I feel your pain, Bexy. Gosh, I'm sorry.
I will say this: what you got is a really good microphone.
Good. I'm so glad you approve because I just bought it, like, randomly.
Yeah, and I mean, you just plug it into your system. It should go online and try to find the drivers for it, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, I think I did do that. But I didn't have anything to record.
Oh, no, it's plug and play. No additional drivers required. You just plug it in, you should be able to go.
Well,
with shock, that is amazing. For like, you spent. I mean, I'm looking on Amazon. I could get one right now for $34.99.
Yeah.
I had to buy my own boom thing. I had to get my own shock mount, my own pop filter, my own. I mean,
yeah. I have to add some software to my computer or this app. Can I add it to my laptop and then talk into my microphone through the laptop?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that I don't have to do it over the phone. Because right now I'm on my phone, which people can't see, but E and Bexy can see that I'm on my phone.
So my microphone, you could now get for $80.
I'm on my phone too.
Are you on your phone too? Okay. I don't feel so bad. But I want to look like a professional podcaster like you, E. I want the microphone and the headphones, and I want to look cool.
I just happen to have this stuff because I write music. And then I went, I'm going to start a podcast. I got the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I have big podcast dreams. Have you guys listened to Maintenance Phase?
You know what the funny thing is? I don't listen to podcasts.
Really?
Me neither.
Really. This is like the podcast for non-podcast people.
You need to listen to Maintenance Phase. If don't listen to any other podcast. Just listen to one episode of Maintenance Phase. It's Aubrey Gordon and Michael Hobbs. And they're basically like debunking like health and wellness claims. And so like your Hashimoto's and stuff like that, they might have an episode about that. I don't know. I think I've listened to every episode now. Like they did a 2-parter on Rachel Hollis, for example. And they talk about like different diet books, different kinds of diets. They've covered like celery juice and moon juice. No, it's not moon juice. I'm trying to think of what the episodes are. My mind is going blank because it's a live podcast. So, but yeah, Maintenance Phase. So the format is 2 people talking. One of them does research on the topic that they're going to cover that week, and the other person like responds to. So, like for example, if we were going to do a format like that, like Bexy would have a topic that she was going to tell you about one week, and then the next week you would have a topic that you're going to tell her about. So you decide ahead of time, like what you're going to research, what topics you want to cover.
My daughter wants to do that with me, where we do the 1 hour of study, where I would assign her a topic, she would assign me a topic. We would then spend 1 hour researching, and then go live and start discussing, start teaching about what we read.
That would be amazing. I love that idea.
And I told her that we could start when she's 21, and we start drinking.
Oh, yeah. How old is she now?
She is 20. She will be 21.
Oh.
Wow. 2 months.
So do you start drinking with the research, or do you start drinking with podcasting?
Oh, no, you start drinking with the research.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like drunk history.
Yeah. Yes. But Maintenance Phase is a podcast you should check out for the format. That's what I had in mind, is something like that for me. But I don't know. I just have been thinking about podcasts. And then also on the YouTube, there's these two guys, and they talk about scuba diving, and I don't even care about scuba diving, but they're so funny. It's Dive Talk on YouTube, and it's Woody and Gus, and they are the most adorable couple. Like, they're not together a couple, it's two guys, but they're so funny, like Abbott and Costello, or, like
nice.
Laurel and Hardy. That two-person comedy, like, playing off of each other? They're both amazing. And they'll, like, do reaction videos to diving stuff. And again, I don't care about diving, but I love Woody and Gus. And I've watched them, and they do almost like a podcast format, too. They have a split screen on YouTube, but they're both wearing headphones and have microphones. And so basically, I just want to be, a part of a dynamic duo that's either doing a podcast or a podcast also on YouTube on screen. That's as far as I've got with my podcast dreams. And I bought a microphone. So
what I can do also is, like, I can help you with this, because, like, I don't have a lot of time. Like, I wouldn't be able to help with the actual podcast itself, but I could give you resources that got me where I'm at.
Yeah. And then I could.
I'm not trying to be like, I'll do it with you. No, I'm not going to jump in on that, but
yeah.
I don't have that kind of time. I would. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If this podcast took off and I had that kind of time, I would be a professional podcaster. And I would have more than one podcast. Yes.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, let's get this podcast, Am I Mental, like, up to thousands and thousands of viewers. Maintenance Phase is one of the top podcasts for 2021 on several lists. And I was really impressed because I had gotten into it. And again, it's one of those few podcasts that I listen to whenever a new episode comes out. I just love it. Those two are great. It's like listening to your friends,
That's awesome.
And they're talking about, like, BMI, and it's a bullshit. And does being fat actually
bullshit.
make you unhealthy? They talk about fat camps in one, and they talk a lot about fat bias and how harmful it is and how much damage it does, because the female half of that program, Aubrey Gordon, she is quite heavy, and she talks about it openly. She was on, I think it was on Instagram, she did this thing called Your Fat Friend, where she had, like, her friends had treated her poorly, not intentionally, not out of malice, but just because they didn't know what it was like for her. And so she wrote this letter and posted it on Instagram or something, and she signed it Your Fat Friend. So she started doing this anonymous thing on Instagram or whatever, and then she finally came out and was like, okay, I'm the person that did Your Fat Friend on Instagram. And her name is Aubrey Gordon, and I'm a huge fan of both of them, really. Their podcast, charm and charisma and chemistry. Chemistry is the word I'm looking for. I just came onto your podcast to, like, list a whole bunch of things.
No, it's been great. You actually gave us something to talk about, and
Yes.
yeah, and Kat's trying to track down all these podcasts that you keep mentioning.
Well, just the one, Maintenance Phase is the one podcast, and then the Dive Talk is on YouTube.
And then also, Kat said, Bonnie, just because you don't have a headset or microphone doesn't mean you aren't a podcaster.
What? Oh, thank you.
It's true.
That is so lovely.
Bexy's just on her cell phone, and sometimes she puts in a headset, sometimes she doesn't. She's a podcaster.
Yeah. I just want the gear so I feel like it. I just want to feel it.
That way you can get on Twitch and be like, check me out. I got the headphones. I got the microphone.
Yeah. Twitch is another app I don't use.
Twitch is... It's not as good as it used to be. I'll just put it that way. Kind of like YouTube. Like YouTube's not as good as it used to be.
Really?
For content creators.
Oh, yes. That. Because YouTube is giving them a really hard time.
And
I've
Twitch
heard
is
all
starting
about
to do the same thing, too.
Yeah, and they're like censoring them and, like, really making their lives miserable. I don't know why they're making their creators' lives miserable, because if they don't have creators, they don't have shows. But
they're
whatever.
going for... They only want the whales anymore. They don't want the little guys anymore. So, like, if you want to make it, like, starting from the scratch, Rumble is a better way to go than YouTube.
Oh.
Or
yeah,
BitChute.
There's a channel on YouTube that everyone absolutely loved. It was called It was JCS, and he would do these interrogation videos. He would show these interrogation videos, right? Like, say, Nicholas Cruz, like, here's what it looks like when somebody's pretending to be crazy. And then he would show, you know who Nicholas Cruz is?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So he would
It's
show
almost like Nicholas Cruz, whenever handed any script, regardless, I'll do it. Agent, man, this is going to be bad for your career. I don't care. I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the shooter for Parkland High School is the one I'm talking about. Is that who you were thinking of?
No. I was thinking, wait.
You were thinking of Nicolas Cage, E.
Yes, I was thinking Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Nicolas Cage is not Nicholas Cruz. Nicholas Cruz shot up the high school at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas in Florida.
That's right. Sorry about
that asshole. Yeah. So that asshole's interrogation video. So JCS shows the interrogation video and comments on it. Like, we'll pause it and point out different things. It's really fascinating and really funny.
That's kind of like Body Language's Ghost is another one that does that.
Yeah, similar to that, but he doesn't like pretty much only interrogation videos, which are hilarious and interesting and creepy and scary and just awesome. But they've pretty much run JCS off of YouTube. And everybody's like, why are you doing that? Everybody loves that channel. But they basically copyright struck all their stuff, and they basically have destroyed JCS, which stands for Jim Can't Swim. If anybody is looking on YouTube, and Jim Can't Swim, that's what it stands for.
It's kind of funny how there's so many things out there that are channels that they started out as one thing.
Yeah.
But then they found their niche.
Yeah.
Like, a great example, Flemlo Raps is his name.
Oh, yeah?
He does nothing but what happened to this player in the NFL or college. He focuses more on NCAA stars than he does NFL stars, but usually an NCAA star becomes an NFL star. He does a lot of those Where Are They Now or Whatever Happened To videos. They are so well researched and so well done. But he's Flemlo Raps. It was supposed to be him rapping. It's supposed to be a rap channel.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is
kind of like 5-point videos.
Yeah.
He does nothing but sports commentary. It was originally supposed to be 5 points gaming.
Right. Well, it's kind of like I started my Twitter with one intent, and then it's kind of changed in a month, right? Because, I thought I was going to yell at Republicans, and instead I end up meeting really amazing people and realizing that we don't have the same political beliefs and being like, well, okay, because I don't care because I like you anyways. Which I think we all used to be like that, but something happened where we all got politicized and we were told that the right is the enemy of the left and the left is the enemy of the right. And it makes me wonder who's benefiting from vilifying
I can tell you
Americans.
Who's benefiting from it.
Who?
Everybody in DC. Because everybody else is so distracted at hating each other that no one's watching the crap they're putting through.
I you know what I wonder, though? Here's what I think. And I don't think it's the government because I'm a socialist leftist, right? I think it's the billionaires. And I think the billionaires are controlling the government with money.
Cronyism.
And so basically the billionaires are using the government to basically take advantage of all of the everyday Americans. And so that's my conspiracy theory that I've now shared on your podcast.
While you're doing this, I've been going through that language thing. I'm on 20 of 25. And I'm learning things that I didn't know existed, like drive-through liquor stores. What?
Yeah, that's
you don't know about those?
We don't have those. They're not
Vegas.
They don't exist here.
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
And then I just found out that a firefly is also known as a peony wally. What?
No, I never heard that.
Yeah, I'm learning all sorts of stuff.
Bexy, do they have drive-through liquor stores in Texas?
And Ohio.
I was going to say, it's Texas. They probably do.
I'm
almost surprised that they don't have a drive-through ammo barn in Texas.
They might. Do they sell ammo in drive-through, Bexy?
I have honestly never seen a drive-through ammo barn.
But it's time to look and see if there is one.
We do have a liquor barn, and we have a place Actually, now we have a place that will deliver alcoholic slushies to your house for you.
Nice.
We actually, because of the COVID restrictions, could get alcohol delivered to our houses now too. Even like from bars, all like mixed drinks.
Yes.
Hi, Sadie dog.
I don't think we have that where I live. I could be wrong, but
But
I haven't tried
Betsy
ordering
also has
alcohol
deep
from
fried
DoorDash.
brisket.
Yes, I do have deep fried brisket.
You do?
Yes.
I need to come and have some. Where in Texas do you live, Betsy? Like Austin, Dallas, El Paso?
I'm in Fort Worth, actually.
Texas is a big state.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the DFW area, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't really like Dallas that much.
I don't like Dallas either.
No. It's funny. I went on a business trip prior to COVID. I went on a business trip to St. Louis, and I loved St. Louis. I thought it was great. And that's when I went and visited my cousins in Southern Illinois and had a blast. But then a few months later, I went to Dallas on a business trip, and I was like, Dallas is no St. Louis, I'll tell you. So, loved St. Louis, didn't love Dallas. Do you have any opinions on that, Betsy?
I'm curious about that.
I'm, it's one of those things. It's like, I remember traveling when I was younger and thinking that Dallas was like this huge magical place. And I loved, going through the city at night and the building with the revolving ball on top of it and all of that. And I just thought it was so pretty. And then as I got older and I moved back to Texas from Ohio, because I am originally from Ohio, and I transplanted myself to Texas when I graduated high school. I lived here when I was younger. Because and then I was like, Dallas is not as great as I thought it was. It's just like meh.
And I'm
There's
gonna
too much
say
traffic.
that language thing,
scary
accurate.
Yeah, isn't it? It's eerie. I told you, it's like witchcraft.
I'm within a stone's toss away of 2 of those 3 cities.
Yes, I know. When I took it,
As a matter of fact, my mom is from one of those cities.
Yes, I know. The city that they came up with for me, I wasn't actually from, but it was like,
I mean, your language
less than an hour from where I grew up.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, considering the size of California lengthwise,
yeah,
I'm a few hours away from where I grew up, but I lived in the sticks, and people are like, wait, California has sticks? Like, dude, California, like Northern California, is part of the largest forest in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah. But people, when they think of California, they only think of LA and San Francisco.
Yeah.
And they think they're next to each other and that they're filming movies all the time and going over the Golden Gate Bridge. And
it's like when people are like, so you know how to surf? Like, no, but I know how to ski. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, don't forget the Winter Olympics were held in Tahoe, California.
Yeah, Squaw Valley.
Yep.
Which they changed the name of, by the way. Thank you, Jesus. But
I always thought it was a weird name.
Well, the word squaw is very pejorative. And so I think they changed the name for Squaw Valley, which is a good thing, but I don't know what they changed it to, so I'm going to keep saying the racist thing. The place formerly known as Squaw Valley. But yeah, I remember my dad always talking about California and saying that it's the only place you could be in the ocean and be skiing in the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you ready?
People don't think of California being like that, but you absolutely could start at the ocean in the morning and be skiing by that evening.
Yep.
Maybe even by that late afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, just to go from, say, San Francisco to Tahoe, it's 4 or 5 hour drive.
Yeah.
If there's no traffic, which, oh God, there's always traffic in that stretch. just being honest. But, like, to go from the northern border up with Oregon down to Mexico, you're talking about 14 to 16 hours of driving.
Well, and the Pacific Crest Trail goes from the border of California and Mexico all the way through California, Washington, and Oregon.
Up into Canada.
I guess. Oregon, Washington. Does it continue on in Canada?
I don't know if it continues into Canada, but I know it goes to Canada.
Mm-hmm. It does.
You know, it's kind of crazy.
That takes like 6 months to hike the whole thing.
It's like I've made it known that I'm in the Sacramento area. The 3 longest stretches of road intersect in Sacramento: I-5, Highway I-80, and Highway 99.
Yeah.
Because 80 and 99 both go from Sacramento all the way to the East Coast.
Yep. And 99 runs all the way north and south on the West Coast.
And I-5 does which one? No, maybe it was Highway 50 I was thinking of. That goes all the way. Because 99 actually gets absorbed into I-5 at points.
That's true, but...
Yeah, no, it's 50 and 80. Those two are the ones that go to the East Coast. Because, like, 80, I think, goes to D.C., and 50 goes to, like, Florida, I think.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Because they go, those zeros after the number, they go across the United States. They go east and west.
Yeah, odd
versus
numbers.
North and south.
It used to be 5s.
Excuse me.
That was awesome. It used to be that if it ended in a 5, it was north-south, and zeros were east-west, but then they ran out of numbers. So then they started doing, okay, even numbers go east-west, odd numbers go north and south.
Yes, exactly. Which is, I'm going to go ahead and say this. So in Interstate 80 in the Bay Area runs north and south.
Yeah, it does.
Until it gets to
stupid.
until it gets up to Reno, and that's when it starts heading east. And so in the Bay Area, people are constantly like east or west 80. And I remember, I'm sure people have, maybe they haven't forgotten him. Herb Caen had a column in the San Francisco Chronicle for like decades. And he always referred to Interstate 80 as North 80 or South 80. Because even though it was east and west, in California, it's north and south.
For a stretch, yes, it is.
It is not east and west.
Out here,
it is just north and south.
Here from Sacramento, it meanders in a northeasterly direction.
Yeah, but it's still going north, like, right? It's north. And it doesn't start turning east until it gets up towards Reno, and then it heads all the way east.
Yeah, because like 80 takes you to Reno, 50 takes you to Tahoe.
Right. And I think 80 doesn't go to... Does it go to D.C.? I know it goes to Pennsylvania.
You know what? I have a computer.
You do. I only have a phone, and I'm on it. Bexy, your puppy is so cute. Is that your emotional support puppy?
Yes, that's my boy.
Aww. What's his name?
His formal name is Sir Java Chip.
Sir Java Chip. Aww.
Yeah.
Sir Java Chip.
We call him Mr. Chippy.
Mr. Chippy. Hi, Mr. Chippy. Now, is he part Chihuahua or is he something else?
He is half Chihuahua and half Terrier.
Okay, yeah. So and then there was the other one that was half Chihuahua and half.
Also is half Chihuahua and half Terrier also.
Oh, so you've got 2 of those. Okay.
Yeah, 2 of those and 1 full-blooded Chihuahua.
Okay.
So 80 looks like it goes all the way to New York City. San Francisco.
Yeah.
It goes through Reno, Salt Lake City, Cheyenne, Wyoming, Lincoln, Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, Des Moines, Iowa, Iowa City, Joliet, South Bend, Toledo, Youngstown, Patterson, New York.
Okay.
That is a very long stretch of road.
I say we go on a road trip. We'll podcast from the road.
You know how much fun that would be? But
That would be a blast.
Okay, so ready for this?
Yeah.
So my oldest, he's 25. Then I have, my next one is 24, who's about to have her second child. Then I have one that's 20, about to turn 21. Then I have one that is 6. And I have one that is 4.
Oh, wow. You got to stretch.
I do.
Yeah. Big stretch. That's 19-year stretch. 20. No, 21-year stretch.
So what's funny is my 20-year-old, for years, every time it was her birthday, she'd blow out her candles wishing for a sibling. A younger sibling.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at this point, I hadn't reconnected with the one that got adopted out, so at this point, I just had her brother and her. And then the moment my other one was born, I go, hey, you want to see your sister after, clean up and all that? She's like, yes, because she was in the bathroom hiding out waiting for the birth.
Yeah.
Because she was with us.
Oh.
And then she came and she's like just staring. She's like, you want to hold? She's like, yeah. Just held the baby. She looks over. She's like, Dad. I'm like, who are you? She's like, what? I'm like, middle child.
Yeah. So she was 14 at the time?
Yes.
Yeah. So I have a 31-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 17-year-old, and they're all boys.
So I have bookend boys. Boy, girl, 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 boy.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I only had boys, and I decided to quit after 3 boys because I figured if I kept trying to have a girl, I'd be one of those people that had like 10 boys. And people would be like, that poor woman, she's pregnant again, trying to have a girl, and she's now got 9 boys. Now she's
you have a baseball team.
I know.
At 9 boys, you have a full baseball team.
I know, and I was like, you know what? I've done my part for society. I gave birth to 3 children. I'm done. I never had a girl.
Yeah, so I only, as far as fathering goes, I fathered 3 girls and a boy. But the oldest, even though he's not technically mine, just put it this way, last time that he had to move back into a home because, he and his girlfriend broke up after, they were together for 6 years too. But they broke up and he needed a place, he came to me. Yeah. He still calls me dad. Even when his mom and I divorced, when I finally accepted the divorce was happening, I flat out told her, just point blank, I don't care what happens between you and me, but you try taking him away from me and I'll make your life a living hell. And her answer was, good.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm ready to rumble for this. Oh, okay, well, that was easy.
Yeah.
And just to show that she, even though we did divorce, she still trusted me and still cared enough that when she left, and we were living in San Diego at the time.
Yeah.
She left with my baby girl, but left the boy with me, knowing that I was following in a couple months.
Yeah.
Just had to tie up all the loose ends.
Yeah.
If that isn't trust, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Trust is super important.
Yeah. It's like, I don't like her.
Yeah.
I still trust her, though.
Yeah. And you probably don't want to hang out with her, but you trust her. And that
I'd rather not.
Because or not. Yeah.
I trust her, but I would rather not be around her.
Yeah. On that thread on Twitter, we were talking about not trusting our parents anymore. Not being able to trust our parents. And I was like, it's so painful not to be able to trust your own parents.
Where it's like, I trust my parents implicitly.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not completely implicitly. I have found some boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that no matter what, even if their act doesn't benefit or help me, they are going to give it their best based on the information they have and their abilities.
Yeah.
I know that their heart's in the right place. And that's one thing that's one thing that my dad and I, after my first episode, he felt shattered.
Really?
He won't listen to any other episodes. He listened to the first episode, he was done.
Oh, really?
Was
it about him, or was he
no.
It was hard for him to hear you talking like that?
It was very hard for him to hear it. And he called up saying that he felt that he failed me. I was like, Dad, you did the best you could with the knowledge that you had, and you couldn't just balance my needs alone. You had to balance your needs, my needs, sister's needs, mom's needs.
Yeah.
And you're from a generation that was raised by people that didn't give a shit about mental health.
Yeah.
But you did the best you could, and I recognize that.
Yeah.
It's like, as a kid, I struggled. Yeah. But you did good enough that I was able to look at it and go, you did the best you could, and I am better for it.
Yeah. Do you feel like... I lost my train of thought. It happens to me occasionally now.
Do I feel like I lose my train of thought? Constantly.
That's what other people tell me. When I confess that I've lost my train of thought. I had a question, but now I can't remember exactly what you were saying that triggered the question.
But yeah, there was actually, I was earlier going to say, one thing that actually kind of broke my heart is, how I was talking about earlier about how I went on a quest to slay my demons. My middle daughter confided into one of my best friends, he's my brother. What's funny is that we were raised in the same general vicinity. Like, we lived like an hour apart from each other growing up.
And didn't know each other?
No. Didn't know each other. We're also, he's my sister's age, and I really made a point to not hang out with people my sister's age. Even though it's only 3.5 year difference, it's like, those are her friends. Done. These are my friends. Done.
Right.
But she confided into him that, because he said that, I'm on a quest to destroy as many of my demons as I can so that way I don't pass them on. And she kind of laughed about that, saying, yeah, he's done a great job, with sarcasm.
Right.
And he wasn't sure how to respond because it's like, he doesn't know what I've done. He doesn't know. So he kind of informed me. And I was like, it hurt. It hurt. I'm not going to lie. To hear that. But then I had to really think about it. It's like, I did pass on demons,
Yeah.
Your parents always pass on demons. And all I can say is that she got less demons from me than I got from my parents. That's the best I can do.
Yeah, that's
my
the best
hope.
thing that
My
he can do.
hope is that she can pass on less on her choice. Like, my dad never heard the words "I love you" from his parents.
Yeah.
Either to him or to each other. This just never was said.
That's painful.
My grandfather was very abusive, and it turned out he was a pedophile.
Ooh, wow,
Yeah.
that's rough.
Yeah,
That's really rough.
And
that was his dad?
My dad's dad.
Yeah.
And his victims were his own children.
Ugh.
And my cousins.
Ugh.
Well, he's dead
so
now.
sorry. Yeah.
He died, he got tracheal cancer.
Good way to go for a pedophile.
Slow, painful death. Unfortunately, he became very, he started suffering from dementia, but he'd have his lucid moments and you could see the flames of hell behind his eyes. He knew where he was going. But, my dad made a point to make sure that he told my sister and me, "I love you."
Yeah.
At first, like I said, he was he was the disciplinarian. But then there was one time, at the time, spanking was quite normal. If you're a Gen X, you've been spanked for the most part.
Yeah.
I got spanked. One time, my dad was spanking me, and I just kind of looked at him like, "Are you done yet?" Because I'd been spanked so many times. It was like, this is nothing new. It didn't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
He never spanked again. He went and spanked my sister, and she did the same thing. She's like, "Are you done yet?" It unnerved him to the point where he reevaluated and realized, okay, this is happening too much if my kids are like this.
Yeah.
So he tried a different approach, and it was much better.
And I remember now what I was going to ask you earlier.
My mother.
What's that?
I could never have said anything like that to my mother. It would have incited rage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I expected my dad to go full bore at that point.
My mother would not have stopped to reevaluate the way she was doing things. She would have been like, "Oh, you want to be sassy toward me? Okay." And it would have been much worse.
Sock full of oranges.
Bar soap in a sock.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. My parents were never like that. But as I've gotten to be older and I'm starting to do therapy and stuff like that, I'm realizing that I think my mom had my best interest at heart, but I don't think my dad did. I think my dad was really more concerned about himself. So he had this kind of cult leader in the family mentality. So he was like the head of the family, and we were supposed to adore him and worship him. And as long as we were behaving like that, he was happy with us and fine with us and would interact with us. But when he got older and I got older, I thought we could interact adult to adult, but he didn't want that. He wanted the adoring fan or nothing. And so I
smoked pot with my parents.
Really?
At a Sammy Hagar concert.
So amazing. Yeah. Yeah, but I lost my mom in 2016, and then I thought I could keep the family together and keep everybody happy like she did, and I can't because I'm not her. And it's a dad and brother. It's my dad and my brother. Like, they live together, and they really want me to be like a mommy wife for both of them. And I'm like, no, I didn't marry you, and I didn't give birth to you, and I'm not doing that. You know, I'm your daughter and I'm your sister, but they just see me as like either a servant is one way that they see me, like wait on me and do stuff for me, or they see me as a scapegoat, like all of my problems are caused by you. And it's just too toxic for me to interact with anymore. I can't do it anymore.
And,
I lost my ability to put up with bullshit. And that's what people told me. They're like, when you go through menopause, you're going to lose your ability to deal with bullshit. And it was true.
I had a hard time dealing with bullshit in high school. As a matter of fact, what's funny, it's like my town was really tiny, 3,500 people. So everybody knew everybody, and everybody knew what everybody was doing. Or at least, you know, everybody thought that. And our popular group in high school, they were dicks. I'm not going to mince words. Yeah. They were dicks. They all had this, like, it was a very cultish clique. And they loved to pick on me because I cried. I was sensitive. And one day I just, you know what? I don't give a fuck what these people think anymore. And they couldn't get me to cry again, and they left me alone.
Yeah.
Turns out that a good chunk of them, that I was like, you know, I know you ran in the popular group, but I never had an issue with you. You know, like, you never picked on me. And they're like, especially like, there's like around your sophomore year, like, you changed. You were you. Unapologetically you. And I envied that. I can't attack what I envied. Yeah. And I was like, it would have been nice to have known back then, but at least we know now. And it turned out that a lot of them afterwards, they're like, yeah, they left me alone because they had to lose who they were to fit into the popular group, and I wasn't having any of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So E, did you feel like your parents had your best interest at heart?
Looking back on it, 100% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
even when I wound up ruining their plans, no matter how frustrating it was. I remember my dad going outside screaming at the top of his lungs because he had his whole night ruined because of me. But he still went and got me. He still went and took care of me.
Yeah.
He still made sure my needs were met. Yeah, he was frustrated. He was also young. You know, he was in his 30s at the time. I get that. He finally got to, like, oh God, both kids are out of the house. First time in forever. I get it now. I think, you know, he still has to take care of himself. But yes, I felt very much taken care of.
You know, and I did when I was younger. But I just feel like now, like, I can't be myself with my dad anymore because he wants and needs something from me that I can't give him. And even if I tried to do it, it's not working. So we haven't spoken in over a year, and he's 78 years old. And I do worry that he's going to die, and these things will remain. Should we say goodbye to Bexy? Bexy's going to leave. But I'm going to stay and keep E company.
I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Hey, you know what,
Don't be sorry, Bexy.
You know the rules.
Sorry.
I know. And you know me. I'm going to apologize anyway.
I know.
Yeah. But honestly, I can tell you're in pain. And it pains me to see you, like, hanging on so desperately, trying to be here with us. And I know. I get it. It's okay. I got you covered, Bexy. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of E.
And I think the chat's broken.
Episode up. Is it?
Oh, wait, nope. Unless the last chat really was, I was 10 when my sister was born. Which was from Kat.
Oh, I can't see that chat, but I was looking at the chat for Bexy with Zoom.
And DeVern said that real women burp in response to Bexy burping.
That was really funny.
And then, of course, Kat was like, everyone burps. And DeVern's, that wasn't my point, Kat, but thanks. I get it.
I'm glad that my bodily functions can continue to be an entertainment source for years to come. Thank you. Thank you.
You know what, though, Bexy?
You know, between my burps and my boobs that want to kill me, I am endless hours of fun.
Well, I don't know if you could hear it, but I turned my camera off earlier because I had to go pee. But I didn't think about the microphone was still on, and I peed with the microphone on. And I was like, I hope that didn't pick that up. But so Bexy burped and I peed, and E had
I
to
actually peed too, but I muted myself.
Yeah, I didn't mute myself. I was like, oh no.
I
phone is picking up the sound of,
Yeah, I vacated everything before the podcast started.
Well, I was asleep, so I forgot.
I know.
I'm going to do a 3-hour podcast, so.
Yep. And Kat said that you have killer boobs.
I do have killer boobs.
They've tried to kill her more than once.
Yes. Why do your boobs try to kill you?
Because they're just massive.
They're massive and gravity exists. They have pulled her off the bed upside down.
Go
to get something out from under the edge of it, and my boobs drug me down. Twice. He has witnessed this happen.
Oh yeah. Also, there's been a couple times she's put her iPhone between her boobs, and she's let me know that I was there. So of course I had to get the obligatory.
Yes.
Oh, that's a blast.
Yeah, the first time I did that, I was getting Adam ready to go somewhere, and I'm like, okay, you're going in my boobs because I need both my hands. And he's like, it's so warm.
So warm. Yes. So funny.
I'm the friend that you make sure that you don't have your Bluetooth on and turned up when you go through a drive-thru. I literally ordered a side of dysentery at Taco Bell for my friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had it up, and he's like, yeah. He's like, I'd like to get a number 6, large, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, anything else? I'm like, and a side of dysentery. And I hear, excuse me?
Yeah.
For this reason, my phone is not allowed to connect to a Bluetooth in a car.
Really?
Because I know what he'll do.
I'll order random stupid shit.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Like,
if I ever left my house, you could order.
I'm gonna head out now, guys.
Okay,
bye,
then. Bye, Bexy.
We only have 23 minutes left anyway, so bye.
Yeah. It was nice to meet you. Bye, Bexy.
You too.
Yeah. I'll see you later. Oh, she's great.
I love her to death.
Oh my goodness. There's so much love. There's a lot of love in this Chili's tonight. That wasn't the line from The Office. It was, I feel God in the Chili's tonight. That was the line from The Office. Did you ever watch The Office?
I was not a fan of it.
It's a very specific kind of humor.
It really is. And I was like,
I
wasn't a fan of it, but I'm not going to bash on it.
Oh, it's hilarious. Like,
it's like Seinfeld was not my
humor. If you like cringy humor, and apparently I do.
I do like cringy humor, but there's just something about The Office that just never really clicked with me.
Yeah.
Kind of like I'm not a big fan of Doctor Who. Yet I'm surrounded by Whovians.
No. What do you like to watch? Is there any particular TV show or whatever that you really get into?
So lately, some of my favorite shows ended. Like Supernatural is my favorite.
Oh my gosh, you were a Supernatural fan too?
Oh, by the way,
yeah.
Bexy will have to show off. She has a tattoo that has a heart with horns and a tail, and it says, to this I say yes, with Mark Pellegrino's signature. With his permission. Mark Pellegrino saved her life.
What? How?
Seriously. That's a story she needs to share with you, but it's worth listening to.
Here's with a sweatshirt.
So I saw one. It was a cat in a trench coat and a tie, and it says, I am Catstiel, and I pulled you from perdition.
Oh my gosh, I love that. See, this is the back of the sweatshirt. It says Dean Winchester 79.
Nice.
My friend bought it for me for Christmas last year.
I thought you would have.
The December before.
I'm surprised you didn't pick up on it when I said that that Dom considered me her Dean to her Sam.
I did see you say that, but I didn't know if you were talking about me. I get confused on Twitter a lot. I did see you say the Dean to the Sam.
Because, Dom tends to be a little more serious at times.
Yeah.
And I come in and I'm just goofing off like Dean.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll still get it done. Another show I love, Archer. Absolutely love Archer.
That's not the Green Arrow one with
No.
Chris. No.
No, this is
You know the one I'm talking about, right? The Green Arrow.
yeah, just
The
Arrow.
guy, yeah, Chris. He loved the Supernatural guys.
Yeah, so no, the Archer, it's a animated TV show on FX.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't usually watch animation.
Oh, this is adult animation. It is so funny.
Yeah. Even the adult animation shows I haven't really been able to get into, like Family Guy and stuff like that. But yeah, Supernatural is what I watch when I am really, really depressed.
Yeah.
I go right to Supernatural and I start watching, I just binge the episodes. So I started watching Supernatural after my mom died.
I actually
and I think I watched it all the way through. But
I watched it from the pilot episode when it was live. Like, I watched every episode. I missed none.
Really?
Yeah.
As it was airing?
Uh-huh. Back when the CW was the WB.
Did you ever go to any of the Supernatural conventions?
I did not. Bexy did, and there's a big group of people that we ran in that did.
I never got to go to one of those either.
I always wanted to. Mark Pellegrino, if he recognized me on Twitter, he'd probably follow me again. I used to do some of his dirty work on Twitter.
Really?
Like someone would attack him, and he's like, "It's too small an account. I'll get in trouble." I'm like, "I'll do it."
Oh man! If Mark Pellegrino wants me to attack anybody for him on Twitter, I am so there.
So were you around during the fragmenting?
Mark Pellegrino a hard time about anything. He's an amazing human.
Actually, Bexy and I are part of his political party that he founded, the American Capitalist Party.
Oh yeah, I can't join it though because I'm not a capitalist. I'm a socialist. But can I join?
I will tell you this. The idea that you have of capitalism is not what we have as capitalism. And we could talk about this offline. I'll present it to you and let you decide what you think of it.
Since capitalism is not a mental health issue.
Right. It's a political issue.
Do you want to just stick to mental health topics? Help me understand what you need from me as a co-host.
So just to give you an idea of some of the things that we've explored.
Yeah.
We had a guest come on whose daughter, when she was very young, single digit in age, young, my friend's biological brother raped this girl. Mm. Now, the angle...
Remember?
I don't know for sure. Mm. But I will say that my friend, she is a good friend of mine. Her life got shattered too. Yeah. She couldn't find help for her. Every time she went to go get help, it's like, "Oh yeah, we can help you. Here's how you help your daughter." Like, no, but what about me? Well, she is now writing a book called "What About Me?"
Yeah.
Largely due to this podcast.
Because it devastated her family. It destroys a family.
Yeah, it doesn't just destroy the victim; it destroys everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and this is not comparable to that, but my brother had a lot of mental health issues growing up, and I was like the good kid who didn't have the mental health issues, and so I got kind of like forgotten. Yeah. Yeah,
Kat was just saying it still hurts to hear about that story. It's like, it does.
That's painful. Who was I was looking at the episode titles. Is that somebody in the but some of them are like initials and stuff like that, probably to keep people's confidentiality.
Yep, that's exactly why.
Yeah.
I'm looking up here to see if I can get it. I might have to do it a little bit later, but yeah, I'll find the episode. She actually has 2 episodes.
Yeah.
We've had one where the guy came on because his son, they discovered a tumor in his rib cage pressing up against his heart.
Oh my gosh.
Now I'm still trying to get the kid to come on for obvious reasons. I just want to know what, he had to, I mean, he was 8th grade, freshman year, high school, around that age when he had to go under the knife to get a tumor removed. The good news was it was not cancerous.
Yeah.
But it was really big.
Yeah.
And it was life-threatening. And of course, even the surgery itself was life-threatening.
Yeah. When something's pressing up against your heart, you can't live without your heart. Did you know that, E?
I've heard that a couple times.
Yeah,
but then I look at some people, I'm like, how are you alive?
Whoa.
Oh, that's the metaphorical heart.
Yeah.
No, but
she ripped my heart out. Well, then you're not alive. Oh, the metaphorical heart. Got it.
Yeah. No, we've had that where he had to talk about it as a father watching his son go through this.
Uh-huh.
You know, we do like to try to get the angles that aren't usually considered. But we also get the run-of-the-mill, like, you know, we've had multiple dealing with addiction.
Yeah.
But the thing is every addiction story is different.
Yeah.
Even if it's the same story a million times, every telling by a different person is different.
Yeah.
Getting out of abusive relationships.
Yeah.
One I really want to get is I would like to get a former abuser, someone who hasn't abused someone in like 5 years or more, someone who truly is reformed, to come on and be like, this is why I was who I was. That's going to come with some extra, you know, trigger warnings and stuff because, yeah. And it's like, look, I mean, if you listen to the intro of any of our episodes, it starts with, you know, this is, you know, for mature audiences. It's very triggering topics that we are talking about. The chat is a privilege that is meant for civil discourse.
Right.
It's okay for you to disagree, but it is not okay for personal attacks.
Yeah.
So if that guy came on, people could say, wow, you were kind of a dick back then. That's fine. You're referencing who he was.
Right.
Or she.
Yeah.
Because abusers come in both.
Right.
You know, that's the kind of stuff or maybe I would like to get a survivor that's a male that was abused. Because that's a voice that doesn't get heard enough. That's when it gets repressed. You know, there's
what?
It gets repressed.
Repressed, yes.
They try to speak up and they get laughed at.
Yeah.
Or what did you do to deserve it? Nobody deserves abuse.
That's what happens to women too. That's what happens to everybody.
Yeah, and it's sick.
There's a guy on YouTube who he says that he's a diagnosed narcissist, and he's trying to like teach people about how narcissists think and act so that they can protect themselves better from narcissists. I'm trying to find him.
I would like him on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you were like an abuser. And I bet you he would be pretty open about talking with it. I'm trying to find what channel he has. I know it's a YouTube channel, and I can't remember.
We have coming up eating disorder.
Ooh, good one.
Weeks.
There's a maintenance space podcast about eating disorders, and it's particularly about eating disorders in overweight people that nobody believes that they actually have an eating disorder and won't treat them for an eating disorder, even because of their BMI. And they had a guest on their podcast who her studies are in eating disorders in obese people. And basically, the podcast is amazing. You should listen to the eating disorders one.
I'll definitely check that one out.
Yeah, definitely check out the eating disorders one.
Just to give you a little something to think about, Bexy.
Yeah.
You saw her.
Yeah.
She has lost more weight than I weigh.
Really?
When I first met her, she weighed more than I weigh on top of what she already weighs. She has lost an incredible amount of weight. Hashimoto's is one of those freaking diseases where she could eat lettuce and gain weight.
Yeah.
It's just cruel. It's like the body should not be able to do that.
Right. Well, the body does a lot of things that science doesn't understand, though.
Yeah. There's a lot of, I mean, and I'm not bashing science. Science is amazing. It's helped us to understand so much, but there are blind spots that we need to work on more.
100%. And fat bias and eating disorders is definitely one of them.
Like, I will never make fun of someone in the gym who's overweight. I know why they're in the gym. They're overweight.
Yeah. Well,
it is the stupidest thing to make fun of a person that's trying to get fit in a gym where you go to get fit.
Yeah. But the people who do that kind of stuff, they do it because it makes them feel better about themselves.
How miserable
and they
must you be?
They don't care that it has a negative impact on somebody else, which sucks and is bad. But yeah, that's how that ends up happening. What are some other topics that you have in mind or have had in mind, and how can I help you with?
Just any of that. I've had There's been oh, we actually had someone was a teacher from Colorado Springs who went viral years ago because she started writing handwritten letters to every student about what she admires about them, to every single one of her students every year.
Yeah.
The reason she did it was because a student of hers committed suicide.
Oh my gosh.
And she was like her first year of teaching. So she didn't know what to do. And the school
Yeah.
was like, we have grief counselors in the library, continue with the regular day.
Right.
Well, it happened again later, and it was a little better, a little more of a better response. Well, during sign-ups for school one year, you know, they did, because it's a small school, kind of how I did it. You walk into the gym, you wait until your grade is called, and then you walk up to the teachers that you want to take a class, and hope to God they have a spot so you don't have to reschedule everything.
Yeah.
The mom showed up instead of the student. And I had a list of teachers that could know. Her name was on it. She attempted suicide. Now, this was a straight A student. First one to class, last one to leave. Popular. Everybody loved her.
Yeah.
Had goals, ambitions, knew exactly where she was going to college and what she was going to do.
Yeah.
She felt like nobody cared about her. That she was the model student. That was it. That was her identity. The model student.
Yeah.
And she wrote a letter. And that started it all. She's also cheer coach. She does it for all of her cheerleaders, too.
Yeah.
She's extraordinarily humble. She was on TED Talk X for Denver.
Uh-huh.
If you want to find it, if you want to see the episode, she was in season 2. I think she was our season 2 premiere. Yeah, it was a fantastic episode. Even Kat was like, "Oh, that was a great episode." And it turned out so, like, the friend that referred me to her has known her for years because both of her kids took her English classes, and one of her kids was a flyer, you know, cheerleader. So knew them quite well. And it's like, you ask questions that I never thought of, and I learned things I didn't know. Now, this lady is younger than me by quite a bit.
Yeah.
She already owns 2 homes outright, owns her cars outright. I want to be her when I grow up.
Yeah.
She's amazing. And she does this off of a teacher's salary.
What's her name? Because I'm looking at TEDx Talks.
Oh, I'd have to look.
It's okay. Don't stress out about it. I just was curious. TEDx.
Was it Shelley? Nope. That was a good one. About being a parent with a kid that has autism. See, again, a different angle.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the parent and their struggles and what they have to go through. Because it's like, we already have a good idea of what it's like having a kid that's autistic. You know, because there's enough out there about that. But we don't know what it's like as the parent.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the movie about Temple Grandin, the one where Claire Danes played Temple Grandin? They had it on HBO.
It was season 3, episode 2, Brittany. Brittni.
TED Talk. Brittany? Britti?
Yep. Brittany.
Brittany Packett or Brittany Barnett?
As soon as I see her, I will know.
Okay. There's 2. Brittany Packett is black.
Nope.
Not black. She looks awesome, though. Brittany Packett. Oh, I guess I didn't click on the other Brittany. Brittany, TED Talk Brittany.
That's not it. That's not it. We're almost out of time. I will find it.
I know. It's 8:50. Are we supposed to do some kind of wrap-up or something?
Something. You know what? I don't know how to find it. TEDx Denver. Brittany. Brittani. No. Oh, come on. You got to be kidding me. I'll find it.
Okay.
I have watched it. I will find it again.
I believe in you. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
I believe.
So.
But yeah, I'm gonna work on finding you some guests.
That would be awesome.
I know some people who know some people who probably know some people. So.
And we are.
I'm gonna deliver all those people to you.
And we are working.
Podcast.
We are working on a partnership. I will say that. I'm not going to go into very many details because we're only in the very beginning talkings. But if this works out, it will be mutually beneficial because it is with another podcast that airs on Friday nights.
So are you every week on Thursday at 6 o'clock?
Yep, except when we're between seasons.
Okay.
Which we'll take a 2-week or 3-week break. We just kind of look at the calendar and go, where do we want to end? What holidays are coming up? Like, we don't want to do a 4th of July on the 4th of July.
Right,
we'd rather be out and doing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't want to land on Christmas or Thanksgiving.
If you're not recording the podcast and then releasing it.
Right.
But then if you're doing it live, you don't have to edit it. So
right.
Is that why you decided to do a live podcast?
No, decided to do live so we could have the chat room.
Oh, yes.
More than anything. It was for the chat room.
My phone battery's dying, so I must plug in.
That's all right. We're at 5 minutes anyway.
I have 10% battery. It's okay, because after this podcast is over, I'm going right back to Twitter.
I am going to go and take a shower, I think, because
you've had a hard day.
I've had a hard week.
You have COVID, and you didn't have a co-host, and you didn't have a guest, and you thought you were going to be talking to yourself for 3 hours, and that's not what happened.
No, it wound up being great. We actually we had an April Fool's Day one.
Come on.
We had an April Fool's Day one where we didn't have a guest, so we were asking for guests, and we just started telling just stupid jokes. Just joke after joke after joke after joke. And then it turned into sharing poetry, creative writing, music, art. And that was the launch of our Discord channel. It was right around that time, too. Our Discord server. Yeah, it was an amazing episode.
Okay, so this is
Kat, watch it! Saying I was crying in my beer. I was crying in my Diet Coke.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking alcohol with COVID. I want to get healthier faster. Not that Diet Coke's all that great, but alcohol is awful when you're sick.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Well, I don't drink much alcohol anyways.
Alcoholism runs like wildfire through my family.
Oh, it just doesn't do anything for me. I prefer other things like Twitter.
I'm a happy drunk.
Are you?
Yo, I am.
I'm a sleepy drunk. And so if I drink alcohol, it just puts me to sleep. And then I'm like, what fun is that? And anyways, I'm 50. It's not like I'm going to go out drinking.
Yeah, and you mentioned the thing about, that shrooms are now legal in Oregon. I did read about psilocybin, microdosing, and depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
I have depression and anxiety. I am highly interested in these studies. And I have done shrooms, which are fun, but, and I'm not endorsing doing it. Just for me, it was fun. For some people, it's bad. But microdosing, where you don't actually get the hallucinations, if it could help, I'm down.
Yeah, so psilocybin and shrooms are the same thing.
Yeah, well, the psilocybin is the ingredient inside the shroom that causes the reaction.
Right, yeah. And what they did was they decriminalized it in Oregon so that you could have it and not get busted for it in Oregon.
You just can't sell it. You'll get busted.
Well...
But yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm not sure how that's going, but I do know that law passed and that it was it's basically to allow people with like what you have, depression and anxiety, to basically be able to use psilocybin to help their symptoms. And California will probably follow pretty quickly.
Yeah, California and Oregon and Washington and New York are all in a fight for who's going to do what first.
Well, I know too that in talking about lifting the mask mandates, that the 3 left coast states wanted to stay on the same schedule. So they actually worked on coordinating at California, Oregon, and Washington to figure out
that whole corridor.
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea.
We're actually going to all lift our mask mandates on the same day.
Which that's not a bad idea, because then it's like, I could travel.
I'm super ready to not wear masks anymore and stuff like that. And I was talking.
We have merchandise, including masks.
You do?
Yes.
That's great. Where's your merch?
If you go to amimental.net/donate, there's ways to donate and buy merchandise. We have tote bags. We have T-shirts. We have hoodies. We have stickers. We have masks.
That sounds great, except I don't want to wear a mask anymore. I want to quit.
Yeah, no, I want to quit.
mimental.net
/donate. Or just go to mimental.net. You'll see a donate link at the top.
mimental.net. I'm gonna check it out. Should I donate? I should probably donate.
If you're helping, you don't. There's no need to. I mean, if you want to donate, by all means, you can donate. I'm not going to stop you from donating because every penny goes back to the podcast.
You literally can't because I have it on my iPad right here. I could donate if I want to. You can't stop.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
donate
we are now. We only have 30 seconds left. So thank you, Bonnie. You've been great. Yes. I'm E. Hopefully we'll have a guest next week. If not, maybe it'll be Bonnie again. Who knows?
Who knows? Anything could happen. It's a wild world.
Life is beautiful.
Yes.
Look how this episode turned around.
I know. It's so great.
So till then, I'm E, and we'll all see you next week.